Chapter 671, Uehehe, your sword is too dull to wound me. 375th Dimensional Sea Zone. Die. As Heath the Slayer swiftly swung his sword. Pio Pio. Messenger Bird's secret art, emergency delivery. Piat evaded the sword's energy and swiftly closed in on Heath to attack. However, Kling. Unlike the previous kings, Heath easily blocked Piat's attack with his sword. HMPH, do you think you can defeat me just because you managed to beat a few half-wits? It's dangerous. Sensing Heath's murderous intent, Piat quickly retreated to put some distance between them. Too late, secret art, heaven and earth slash. With a wicked grin, Heath slashed his sword violently at Piat. A thick and massive wall, densely formed from sword energy, flew toward Piat. It was a technique Heath created to annihilate all living creatures residing in heaven and earth. There's no place to run. As Piat hesitated, unable to find a way to escape. Piat, hide behind me. Urin stepped in front of Piat. Pububuk. Kueg Kueg. Urin blocked Heath's attack with his body, screaming in agony. Uhehehe, your sword is too dull to wound me. It hurt like hell, but he didn't forget to bluff one last time. You bastard, how dare you mock me? Thanks to that, the situation got worse. As expected from Urin, the king of misfortune, always pulling aggro. Final ultimate technique, dimensional slash. Enraged by Urin's bluff, Heath swung his sword powerfully at him. That'll kill him if it hits. Pio. Urin Nim, get out of the way. Huh. Sensing danger, Piat quickly pulled Urin away just before the slash landed, barely escaping the path of the sword. Slash. Heath's attack cut through empty air. Simultaneously, the severed space split open, revealing another world through the gap. It was the level 1 world Earth. Water flows from high to low places. That law applied to the Sea of Dimensions as well. The water that made up the Sea of Dimensions, the power of dimensions, began flowing into the lowest level world, Earth. Due to the immense height difference, a tremendous suction force occurred. Pio. We're being pulled in. Huh. Mong, what do we do? Naturally, Piat, Urin, and Poyo, who were closest to the gap, were swept up in the massive current and sucked into Earth. Following them, the ships of the Camel pirate crew were also drawn in. Mong, there's an intense sweet scent. It's getting stronger. Gulp. Amidst it all, Poyo salivated at the intense smell of misfortune wafting from somewhere. Kuhuhu, increase speed. Full speed ahead. In Poyo's eyes, pirate ships emitting a strong scent of misfortune were rapidly approaching. The pirates didn't resist the flow. They entrusted their ships to the current of the Sea of Dimensions and increased their speed even more. They, too, were like water in the Sea of Dimensions. And when the water fills and the levels match, the flow naturally stops. Of course, any world submerged in the meantime would be destroyed, but that was none of their concern. Earth. Mom, don't leave the house, got it? Sejun shouted urgently to Kim Miran as he came out of the basement. Yona, put some shield magic around the area. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Yes, power of magic. He asked Yona to cast protective magic over the house. Although Yona specialized in destructive magic, she was highly skilled in other types as well. As Yona performed her magic, guys, Sejun called and gathered his companions. And then, wide area 10-layer shield. Once Iona completed the massive 10-layered shield, protecting a 1 km radius centered around Sejun's house. How dare they target Earth, where my house is, and even steal money? Kyungi that way. Kyung. Boom. Fueled by Sejun's rage, Kyungi used telekinesis and flew at supersonic speed toward the area where the enemies had intruded. As they approached the enemy's location. Huh. Why are they here? Piat, Urin, and Poyo were fighting on a pirate ship. Pio. Sejun Nim, Theo Nim, I'm sorry. As soon as Sejun and Theo appeared, Piat, knowing his mistake, hurriedly flew over and apologized to them. However, Yuhiha, Sejun Nim, why are you here? Mohiha, Sejun Nim, can I lick you just once? Urin and Poyo, who still had no idea what they had done wrong, remained innocent and clueless. Then, hiss, Urin, this is Chairman Park's hometown, meow. Because of you, Chairman Park is angry, meow. Grrrr, kaying. Grrrr, hey, our butler is angry right now, don't mess with him. Theo and Blackie stepped in to straighten them out. I'm sorry. Sorry. Thanks to that, Urin and Poyo finally began to understand what they had done wrong and apologized. At that moment, you rat bastards, so I finally found you. Heath, who had crossed over by using the pirate ships as stepping stones, appeared before them with a sinister grin. However, Kaiwo rats, did you just call me a rat, power of gravity? Heath had said something he never should have. Black hole. The powerful suction of the black hole began pulling in the surrounding ships. Dimensional slash. To avoid being sucked in, Heath plunged his sword into the dimensional rift and held on. No, meow, we have to get the money, meow. Theo quickly rummaged through Heath's belongings and took everything valuable. You bastard! Heath wanted to stop him, but the black hole prevented him from doing anything. Once Theo had taken all the valuables, Pew-hut, farewell, meow. Thud. Thunk. He knocked Heath unconscious and marked him almost simultaneously. Heath lost consciousness and was sucked into the black hole. If luck was on his side, they might meet again someday. After Heath disappeared into the black hole, Iona deactivated the black hole spell. Pew-hut. Theo took the sword Heath had stuck in the rift. Then, guys, hurry and grab whatever's valuable. Sejun and his companions began looting treasure from the pirate ships to recover the money spent preventing Earth's destruction. That way, he could extend their stay and attend Kyung-chol's wedding. After looting about 3 pirate ships, you bastards! A massive black ship appeared, carrying the enraged great pirate Camus and the remaining 4 kings. It was Camus's ship, the Black Angler. A quest has been triggered. Quest: eliminate the Kamal pirates, leader Camus and the first king Nuz who massacres the second king. A quest to eliminate Camus and the remaining 4 kings appeared simultaneously. To prevent Earth's collapse, shall Sejun Nim pay the enemy's stay fee? A message popped up asking if he would pay for their stay. Ha, pay. Sejun grimaced as he paid. Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi wants that ship. Kyungi's eyes sparkled as he looked at the Black Angler, which was much cooler and bigger than his old ship. And, hehe, then that ship is yours, Kyungi. Sejun, who initially only intended to take the money, decided to take the ship too. You bastards, how dare you mock us? I'll erase you along with the world behind you. Fire the planetary apocalypse cannon. At Camus's enraged command, the front of the ship opened like a mouth with a metallic clunk. Clank. From the open section, a massive cannon emerged. Boom. A deafening roar echoed as a gigantic cannonball flew towards Sejun and his group. Kyung. They attacked Dad, Kyungi will punish them. Boom. The fake apocalypse cannon was obliterated by the fist of the real beast of apocalypse, Kyungi. Guys go. Kaying. Brothers fighting. Hawk, they attacked us, meow. I'll stamp them, meow. Kaiwo. Pipayak. Pio. Here I go. Mohihe. At Sejun's command and Blackie's cheer, the group launched their counterattack. A moment later, all the pirates who had been stamped by Theo were kneeling on the deck. Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi got a new ship. Kyungi is now the captain of a big ship. Kyungi held the helm of the ship, reveling in the feeling. Heze. Pew-hut. Sejun and Theo cheerfully searched the Black Angler, now renamed the Black Kyungi, for treasure. However, hey, you're supposed to be a notorious pirate, and this is all the treasure you've got." Sejun, disappointed with the meager haul, interrogated Camus, who had a stamp on his forehead. Although he had recovered all the money paid for the pirates' stay, and even obtained enough treasure to extend their stay by a day. "Is that all you've got as a great pirate?" "A great pirate should have enough money to buy a whole world." Having grown his expectations from pirate manga, Sejun was far from satisfied. "At our main base in Grandra, I have treasure I've collected over the years. It's incomparable to what's on the ship." "Oh, as expected of a great pirate, I believed in you." Thankfully, Camus didn't betray Sejun's expectations. At that moment, Kaiwat, 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 Sejun Nim, I've finished engraving the fixed coordinate. Yona, who engraved the fixed coordinate on Kyungi's ship, spoke. Once a fixed coordinate is engraved, even if the ship moves, one can teleport directly onto it. "All right, then knock them out." Puhuhut got it, meow. Kyung. Pipayak. Bam bam. At Sejun's order, Theo, Kyungi, and Black Rabbit knocked the pirates unconscious. It was a precaution in case the pirates tried to escape or scheme something. And then, "Please hit me, I don't want to get hit by that bear." The pirates eagerly thrust their heads toward Theo and Black Rabbit. Thud thud. This was because the state of their comrades who were knocked out by Kyungi looked too severe. Thud. "Once we reach headquarters, you'll." Even Camus was knocked out by Kyungi while vowing revenge. Once all the pirates were unconscious. "Guys, we're gonna be late, let's hurry." Sejun took his group and headed to Kyung Chul's wedding venue. Piat, Urin, and Poyo went along as well. The reason was Urin. If Urin was left behind, there was a 100% chance something would happen to the ship. And just leaving Urin and Poyo behind was a bit worrisome, and bringing only Urin would make Piat and Poyo feel left out. Considering all possibilities, taking everyone along was the best option. Kyung. Rumble. Once Kyungi closed the dimensional rift with force, dimensional power beyond Earth's capacity has flowed in. Earth's balance has collapsed. Earth will be destroyed in 10 minutes. Messages appeared before Sejun. It was partly because the dimensional gap had been open too long, but Urin's misfortune was the main reason. "This can't be, meow. This is the hometown of the great hybrid chairman Park, meow." At the same time, Theo extended his paw toward Earth and began burning astronomical amounts of money. Thus, Theo's fortune collided with Urin's misfortune and transformed into powerful luck. Earth has begun evolving to a level 2 world by adapting to the incoming dimensional energy. Earth evolution will be complete in 1 hour. Earth began evolving to become a level 2 world, without anyone knowing. Kyungchul's wedding venue. "Congratulations, Kyungchul SSI." "Yes, thank you." Kyungchul shook hands with the guests who came up to greet him. "Has Sejun not come?" He glanced around now and then, looking for Sejun. He wanted to introduce the man who had trained him into the strongest person on Earth to his wife. And then, "This is Pigeon. The black farmer has not been spotted yet." "This is Eagle. The black farmer was seen at his residence in Hanamdong. There's a high possibility he'll head toward Gangnam, so stay on standby." Agents from top government agencies, dispatched by several countries, were lying in wait for Sejun. Officially, Kyungchul was Earth's strongest, but they knew that unofficially, Sejun held that title. So they were waiting to see if Sejun would appear here. The details of Sejun's relationships and their level of intimacy were treated as top-secret information on a national security level. However, the ceremony will begin shortly. All guests, please make your way into the hall. Even as the ceremony was about to begin, Sejun still hadn't arrived. "Looks like he's not coming." Just as the intelligence agents were preparing to withdraw. Rumble. A thunderous roar rang out from the sky. What was that? Kaido, an agent from Japan's intelligence agency, frowned as he looked up at the clear sky. He was already in a bad mood due to the failed mission. Then, it's Park Sejun. In Kaido's eyes, Sejun and his party were descending onto the rooftop of the wedding venue. Team leader Park Sejun is here. This is Pigeon, the black farmer has arrived. The agents who had been preparing to withdraw became frantically busy. Chapter 672, I must be the one to catch that bouquet. I'm late. Sejun arrived at the rooftop. Yona, cast an invisibility spell on yourself and the others. Kaiwat, okay, power of magic. To avoid drawing attention to the group, he had Iona conceal them. Then, hurrying down from the rooftop and arriving at the wedding hall. Here comes the groom. The ceremony had already begun. First, I need to give a gift. Sejun, who was approaching the groom's side gift table, halted for a moment. All right, I don't have any cash. Having only brought tower coins, Sejun hesitated briefly, then put 10 100 tower coins into each of 18 envelopes. There were 18 people in Sejun's group. He did it to receive 18 meal tickets. After handing over the gift envelopes, thank you. It's been a while since I've had a buffet. Excited by the thought of going to the buffet later, Sejun, holding the 18 meal tickets, was making his way inside the hall when, well, isn't this Park Sejun who got fired for unauthorized absences? A man who had been watching Sejun for a while called out to him in an arrogant voice. Who is that? Sejun turned around at the voice calling his name. Upon seeing the man who had called him, his expression hardened as unpleasant memories surfaced, then returned to normal. The man who had called Sejun was Lee Hassan. The son of the president at the company where Sejun used to work, he had parachuted into a managerial position. He often took advantage of Sejun and Kyung Chul, who were the same age and easy targets. But since I'm a cool guy, I've forgotten all about that stuff in the past. Thinking he was radiating coolness, Sejun greeted him. Oh, good to see you, Hassan. Sejun greeted Hassan familiarly. However, what Hassan? HMPH, are you looking down on me outside the company? Hassan scowled deeply at Sejun's words. Perfect. I'll put this guy in his place right here. Having just been completely ignored by Kyung Chul when he greeted him earlier, Hassan was planning to vent that humiliation by flaunting his wealth to Sejun. Sejun's shabby clothes and the 18 gift envelopes filled with what appeared to be 10 101 coins. Hassan was convinced that Sejun was easy prey. He didn't make any connection between Sejun and Park Sejun, the tower farmer. That was partly because intelligence agencies had intentionally spread a fictitious image of Park Sejun, the tower farmer, in the media to protect Sejun's family. And also because this guy, Sejun's naturally unassuming vibe completely blocked that line of thinking. Hassan had no idea that the ragged clothes Sejun wore were impossibly rare, and extremely expensive SSS grade or higher items that couldn't be found on Earth. Nor did he know that the envelopes contained tower coins. In front of Sejun, who had the wealth to buy the entire Earth, Hassan started bragging about money. So, you must still be in touch with Kyung Chul, but it's your friend's wedding and look at what you're wearing. Feigning concern, he pointed out Sejun's outfit, subtly stretching his right foot forward to show off his luxury shoes, belt, and tie. Oh, I came in a hurry, so I didn't get a chance to buy clothes. Really? You must be busy these days. Busy my ass, you clearly just rolled out of bed. Hassan mocked Sejun in his mind. But how did you get here? Setting up for his next brag. Me, I just walked. Since he couldn't say he flew, Sejun lied and said he walked. Yeah, must have been nice. I came in my new Lamborghini, but the traffic was terrible. Knowing nothing, Hassan smirked at Sejun's reply and casually pulled out his car keys to brag. In truth, it was a used car, but it looked new enough that no one would know unless told. However, right, traffic is always bad in Seoul, so you should just walk from now on too. Sejun showed no interest in the car keys and replied indifferently, brushing past Hassan toward the hall. At that moment, "Hey, are you seriously going in there?" Hassan asked Sejun in a tone of disbelief. "Yeah. Don't even. You think I want to stay here. If you're not of the right class, you can't even get in." Hassan laughed mockingly at Sejun's answer. "This guy is really disrespecting me." Looking at Hassan's mocking face, Sejun started to boil with anger. His cool composure began to fade. Just as the enraged Sejun was about to step forward. Don't you dare disrespect our great hybrid Chairman Parknam. Our Chairman Park is the head of Sejun Company, who can go wherever he wants, meow." Unable to hold back, Sejun's loyal subject Theo stepped up and revealed himself. And then, "A cat is talking. It's Vice Chairman Theo. It's Theo." Those who had been unable to enter the wedding hall caused an uproar as they spotted Theo. "Pew hut. Humans, nice to meet you, meow. I am the right hand of the great hybrid Chairman Park, the deadly dragon-clawed hybrid." As the crowd recognized him, Theo proudly began to introduce himself. "Sejun, welcome. Please come to your prepared seat." "Yes." A female employee of the Korean Awakeners Association, disguised as a wedding guide, escorted Sejun. As Sejun and Theo entered the hall. What, who is he?" Hassan stood there dumbfounded. Lee Hassan, a parachute hire at the company Park Sejun used to work for. As the son of the president, he abused his power against his same-age co-workers Park Sejun and Oh Kyung-chul back then. His relationship with Sejun was extremely bad. Seeing Hassan, agents from the Intelligence Bureau quickly wrote a report and submitted it to higher-ups. It didn't even take 10 minutes to realize what kind of consequences this report would lead to. BZZZ. "Hello. Hey, Lee Hassan, what the hell have you been doing?" As Operation Pest Removal was initiated, a tax audit suddenly hit his company, and all banks started pushing for early repayment of loans, mentioning Hassan's name. While Hassan was urgently being called back to his company, "I actually prepared a congratulatory song," Sejun told the guide. In the meantime, Theo had hidden himself again using Ona's magic. Then would it be all right if we schedule it for the final slot?" "Yes." "And what is the title of the song you'll be performing?" "Chamexon." "Excuse me. Chamexon, is this some kind of song encouraging car purchases?" TL. Ko Chamexa inus Chamexa, if translated, would mean to buy a car without hesitation. That is why the guide is misunderstanding it as such. Confused by the strange, unheard-of title, the guide quickly searched on the internet to see if it was a suitable wedding song, but of course, nothing came up. Because it was a song made by Peacebees. "Oh, it's an original song, so you won't find it by searching. My Peacebees wrote the lyrics and composed it," Sejun said, gently stroking his left shoulder. Then do you have the sheet music? We need it for the accompaniment." The guide, knowing she couldn't stop the unofficial strongest person on earth from singing, asked in a resigned tone. However, "Nope, my Peacebees can't read sheet music, but he's a genius." There was no sheet music either. It was becoming more and more certain that Sejun had come to ruin Kyung-chul's wedding. Bajet. Peacebees was delighted by Sejun calling him a genius. The guide was momentarily flustered by the sudden soft and pleasant laughter she heard. Peacebees, a golden bat the size of a fist master of stealth, resolved the air raid in China single-handedly, uses techniques such as pip-pip storm fist, one-pip slash and pip-pip hoo. Recalling this information about Peacebees. "This way, please." She guided Sejun to his seat. And then, "Park Sejun has prepared a congratulatory song. Please place it as the final performance. The title is." She passed a note to the MC, hoping that Sejun wouldn't ruin the wedding. Once Sejun sat at the seat prepared for him. Pew hud. Theo climbed onto Sejun's lap, and the rest of the group settled into their own seats. Only Urin, who had no seat, sat on top of Sejun's foot. Thanks to that, Sejun's feet felt warm. Lick, lick, lick. Poyo diligently licked urine to prevent his misfortune from activating. Meanwhile, Sejun is officiating the ceremony. When Sejun made eye contact with Han Taejun, who was presiding as officiant, he gave him a slight nod. Shortly after, next we'll have the congratulatory songs. It was time for the wedding songs. The first performance is by friends of the bride, Choi Mina. Friends from both the bride's and groom's sides took turns singing. And then, the next song will be performed by the bride's younger sister and someone you all know, the singer-songwriter Choi Yurenim. The song is titled Eternal Love. Please give her a big round of applause. Out of consideration for the other performers, the originally final performance, famous singer Choi Yura's congratulatory song, began earlier than scheduled. You are. As expected of a famous singer, the moment her song began, her enchanting voice instantly captivated the audience. Normally, anyone scheduled to sing next would be feeling nervous, but... So my sister-in-law's younger sister is Choi Yura. Sejun was simply fascinated by seeing a celebrity in person both morning and night, since he wasn't the one singing after all. When the song ended, well, applause and cheers burst from the crowd. Next, we have a congratulatory song from the groom, Oh Kyung-cheol's friend Park Sejun. The title is Chameksan. Please give him a warm round of applause. In the excited atmosphere following Choi Yura's song, Sejun prepared to sing his own. Since the crowd was mostly ordinary people, few knew who Sejun was, and thanks to the song's bizarre title, no one looked particularly excited. Tab tab. Sejun lightly tapped the microphone to check if it was working. Sejun, you came. Kyung-cheol, congratulations. He exchanged a glance and silent greeting with Kyung-cheol. Then, Peacebees, are you ready? He held the microphone to his left shoulder and asked Peacebees. Pip pip, yes. Peacebees began to sing. We met by chance on our path. And then, the audience, instantly captivated by Peacebees' voice, held their breath and became deeply immersed. Perhaps our meeting wasn't a coincidence. A love that even dimensions can't stop. When the chorus of the first verse ended, the audience finally understood the meaning of the song title, Chameksan. It was short for a love that even dimensions cannot block. Who came up with a ridiculous name like this for such a beautiful song? The title doesn't match the song at all. It's distracting me from the song. At the same time, guests internally cursed the person who had given such a name to such a touching piece. Our love cannot be stopped by dimensions. Even from afar, we can know and find each other. The song entered its climax. You have listened to Chameksan for over 2 minutes. The effect imbued in the name has been activated. The effect has been enhanced thanks to the original creator's excellent performance. Due to the name's effect, your heart has become very peaceful. Due to the name's effect, your love for your beloved has grown greatly. Due to the name's effect, you can now better sense mutual attraction. Effects from Sejun's naming activated. A moment later. A love that even dimensions can't stop, that's us. As the song ended, everyone quietly basked in the lingering emotion of the song, holding hands with their loved ones. I miss Aileen. Sejun thought of Aileen, who wasn't here, and gently held Theo and Kyungi's front paws. Then next up. Fortunately, thanks to the MC's professionalism, the seemingly endless emotional wave concluded and the ceremony resumed. Once the entire ceremony had finished. Now, we will begin photo taking with the coworkers and friends of the bride and groom. As it was time for photos. Sejun, thank you so much for coming, come here. Kyung-cheol came up first and brought Sejun to stand beside him. He didn't care at all about Sejun's outfit. Alright, let's take the photo. 1, 2, 3. With the photographer's cue, the photo was taken. Now, will the bride's friends who will catch the bouquet please come forward? You all know that if you catch it, you have to get married within 6 months, right? It was time for the bouquet toss. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. If I catch that, I have to get married within 6 months. Hearing the MC's words, Iona quietly took her place behind the bride. Then, 1, 2, 3. I must be the one to catch that bouquet. Just before Iona could catch the bouquet, your stay time on the Black Tower's 0th floor has ended. Returning to the Black Tower. Kyung-chul, I have to go. Congratulations again on your wedding. As his stay time ended, Sejun quickly placed a great growth elixir in Kyung-chul's pocket and vanished with his companions. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kayup, I almost had it. Iona, who had arrived at the Black Tower, felt depressed about missing the bouquet that was right in front of her. On the buffet, Sejun also looked dejectedly at the unused meal tickets. And then, Puyuhut, cheer up, meow. Theo comforted the two of them. Chapter 673, yeah, not scary anymore. Earth. Shortly after Sejun left. How much did you say? After the wedding, Kyung-chul was startled when he heard from his younger cousins, who had accepted the wedding congratulatory money on his behalf, how much they had collected. A total of 27,053,140,000 won, 27,053,140,000. One of your friends, a guy named Park Sejun, apparently put tower coins in the envelope. At first, we heard the sound of coins in the envelope, while his cousins were chattering about what had happened back then. Sejun, thank you. You could have at least had a meal before leaving. Thinking of Sejun, who had left without eating, Kyung-chul was deeply touched. For reference, excluding Sejun's gift, the total of the other congratulatory money was 53,140,000 won, 53,140,000. In other words, Sejun's gift alone was worth 27 billion won. Recently, due to inflation on Earth and Sejun sucking in tower coins from the Black Tower without releasing them, the tower coins had become scarce. As a result, the market value per one tower coin had risen to 1.5 million won. Here, some allowance for you. Wow, 5 million won. Thanks, Hyung. Feeling good, Kyung-chul gave his younger cousins 5 million won each as allowance, and once their tasks were done, they all flocked to eat. But what did Sejun put in my pocket earlier? Kyung-chul checked what Sejun had slipped into his pocket before leaving. Earlier, there were too many people around to check. SSSK. As Kyung-chul reached into his pocket and took out the item, a glass bottle containing a captivating red liquid clinked softly. Great growth elixir. Even the name sounded extraordinary. Remaining amount, 30 drops. Sejun had included 10 extra drops, thinking Kyung-chul might have more potential for growth than expected. At that moment, Kyung-chul suddenly realized that the world had changed, that he had grown as well. How should he describe this? It felt as if his whole being had risen to a higher level. No way. On a hunch, Kyung-chul checked his stats. What the? All my stats went up. He discovered that all his stats had increased by 20%. Even his potential, which was always hard to raise, had increased tenfold. And this phenomenon was not unique to Kyung-chul. All hunters on Earth were experiencing it. Moreover, why does my body feel so light all of a sudden? You feel that too, honey. Even my back straightened up. Even the physical condition of ordinary people had generally improved. As Earth's evolution completed and it grew into a level 2 world, its inhabitants also grew stronger. Thus, Earthlings, now residents of a level 2 world, became stronger. Hey, we've gotten stronger. Yeah, so now we're taking over the market. Some factions banded together and tried to oust the Black Bears of Kyungi's faction, who managed the market on the first floor of the Black Tower. You think you can beat us just because you got a little stronger. Getting beaten by Kyungi's Black Bears remained unchanged. After all, the Black Bears were from a level 7 world. The only difference was that they could endure the beatings longer. For reference, The residents who survived in the tower were from at least level 3 worlds or higher. Just because Earthlings had become residents of a level 2 world didn't mean their ranking in the Black Tower had improved. Honestly, the fact that Earth, a level 1 world, hadn't perished yet and had held on was already a miracle. Normally, Earth would have been destroyed before that, and its inhabitants would have become refugees and been naturally weeded out. The tower was not an easy place for level 1 world residents to live in. Anyway, although Earth had become a level 2 world, nothing had changed significantly inside the Black Tower. 99th floor of the Black Tower, Earth's evolution has been completed and it has become a level 2 world. All physical abilities of level 2 residents have increased by 20%, and potential has increased tenfold. Due to the increased level of your origin world, Black Tower Farmer Park Sejun stats have increased by 10% and potential by 50%. Sejun, who was eating dinner, also received the benefits of Earth's level up. However, why is this all I get? You system bastard, are you screwing me over again? Sejun couldn't fully enjoy the benefits. He had already been squeezed too much. If the system had boosted him as is, Sejun might have died, so System 371 had made this consideration to save him. But once again, Sejun had no idea. Shortly after, hehe, I've gotten stronger. Sejun's anger toward the system was quickly soothed as he looked at his stats, which had grown by 10%. Currently, Sejun's stats were Strength 153,752 / 287,442. Stamina 144,307 / 219,448. Agility 142,923 / 217,575. Magic Power 150,280 / 235,008. Mental Strength 40,371 / 50,000. Divinity 100.8664 / 500. From the perspective of Earth standards, these were nearly impossible figures. Pew Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park has gotten just a bit stronger, meow. Kaiwat. Sejun Nim, please get strong quickly, so Theo Nim won't have to worry. Kyung. Dad, you shouldn't get complacent just because you got a little stronger. You still can't beat Kyungi's finger. Kilahit Kaying. Hee. Since the weak butler is being protected by Great Blackie, you better pay protection fees with some roasted and dried sweet potato. To the rest of the companions, he was still a sunfish that needed protecting. And then, what are you going to protect when all you do is eat dried sweet potatoes? Kaying. Sejun retaliated by pulling the cheek of Blackie, who was weaker than him. Black Rabbit had gone down with Bach and Lara, who had been waiting on Choo Choo's orders as soon as they arrived at the tower, without even having dinner. Bach and Lara's relationship was still going in circles, with no progress whatsoever. Pipayak. Uncle, don't get married, Black Rabbit said with a sorrowful voice before leaving. But, lucky guy, I'm jealous. To Sejun and Bachai, those were complaints of the rich. After dinner, Kyung. So Kyungi did this and that. Pew Hut, and that's where I stepped in, meow. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Great Blackie handled the final part. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie excitedly told Sejun's family about how they defeated the Kamal pirate crew and protected Earth after receiving the Mirror of Longing from Aileen. Anyway, that's why we came back without even eating. Sejun added in a few words here and there while drinking the coffee Kyungi had made. Kyung. Big Bro spent a lot of money healing Earth with his front paws, so we came home early. Pew Hut, that's right, meow. Kim Miran Park Chun-ho, I was the one who saved Earth, meow. Kaying. Butler's mom, Butler was bullying me earlier. Sejun and his companions went on chatting and laughing for hours, never letting the audio go silent. Sejun, go to bed now. Yeah, let's get asleep. Kim Mi-ran and Park Chun-ho, exhausted from listening, turned off the mirror and the conversation ended. Aileen here, and there's a wedding song that Peacebe's maid want to listen. We met by chance on our path. Sejun handed the mirror of longing to Aileen and began singing, Chamakson. However, as could be expected from Sejun's skills, his singing was terrible. Hut, no, that's not it, meow, as we walk down our path. Kyung. That's not the lyrics, it's as we walk our path we happen to meet. Kilahit Kayang. He, Kyung got the lyrics wrong as well. As we walk our path we met. The area quickly became noisy, as everyone insisted their version of the song was correct. Of course, unfazed by any of it. The tower's administrator says your song was the best. Aileen took Sejun's side. Nuna, this isn't right. You should tell brother-in-law the truth. Ace, who had been listening to Sejun singing next to her, said with a pained voice. Shut it, are you trying to discourage my Sejun? My Sejun already lives feeling down every day. Aileen scolded Ace and didn't allow him to reveal the truth. And so, Sejun finished his song and received praise from Aileen. Hehe, guys, let's go to bed. After taking Kyungi over to Pinkfur. Let's lie down too. Sejun, who had arrived home, laid down on the bed with the Theo couple and the Blackie family. And then, Kalu, Gorarong, Kirarong, Keikirarong. Sejun and his companions, snoring away, entered Blackie's mental world. Another night of overtime had begun. Blackie's mental world. Once again, Sejun, Theo, Supergiant Chairman Park No. 3, Iona, and Gilson Nightmare were soothing the souls. Everyone, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. The Blackie family earnestly apologized to the souls and worked hard to gain their forgiveness. While they were in the midst of being forgiven by the souls. Gyuraruk. Once again, corruption appeared today. After facing it several times, they had found that corruption often formed a shape from one or two strands of world's energy, or even from a single soul's energy. And today, when corruption appeared from one soul, Gyuraruk, corruption from another soul also appeared, resulting in two appearing simultaneously. Disappear. Whoosh. As Sejun glared at the two corruptions, their bodies began to burn. Kyukuk. Look forward. To my corruptions will come. Coming for. Today, the corruptions disappeared, while uttering even more chilling words. However, yeah, not scary anymore. Humans are creatures of adaptation. Sejun, who had grown accustomed to the threats of corruption, wasn't scared at all. You think I'd be scared just because you run your mouth. Now the problem was that he wasn't scared enough. After all, the corruption had clearly said it would come for him. I better keep an eye on your surroundings for Chairman Park's safety, meow. I should cast many shield spells on Sejun Nim. He will protect the butler. Theo couple and the Blackie family decided they needed to strengthen the perimeter around Sejun instead. Guys, let's start again. While Sejun and the party continued apologizing sincerely, the night deepened. You have defeated all corruptions within the world's energy and completed the purified world's energy. You have completed the quest. As a quest reward, one strand of the world's energy was purified. Time to really sleep now. Good night, everyone. Sejun bid his companions good night, and each returned to their own mental worlds to get some rest. 375th Dimensional Sea Zone. This is Captain Camus of the Black Angler. Respond, base. Camus, who had fainted and regained consciousness, sent a communication to his base. He normally shouldn't have been able to wake up, but he had secretly used a single-use item that increased recovery speed right before fainting, allowing him to wake up early. Salute, reporting to Camus Nim. Forget the formalities, call the defense commander. Yes, sir. Thus, Camus summoned the defense commander at the base via communication. Salute, Defense Commander Ulson reporting. Prepare to engage the enemy immediately. Yes, where and what enemy shall we engage? The location is Grandra. The enemy is the Black Angler. Camus ordered Ulson to attack the very ship he was on. What? Ulson looked confused by Camus's order. The reason Camus gave the command to attack the Black Angler was because he had a means of escape. Just do as I say. The moment the Black Angler enters Grandra, mobilize all forces and launch a full assault. Understood? A total offensive. Yes, understood. After giving instructions to Ulson, KL, come quickly to claim the treasure. The moment I enter the base, I'll be free. Camus, dreaming of freedom, collapsed back onto the floor and pretended to be unconscious. Dawn at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. All right. Sejun woke up earlier than usual and... Pip, Sejun Nim, you're up early. Peacebees came flying over in an excited voice. Yeah, I've got a lot to do today. Want to come along, Peacebees? Pip, yes. Sejun picked Peacebees, the Theo couple and the Blackie family and quickly checked on the Calamity Farm, the 99th floor farm, the farm on the 10th tower in Camule Deseong, TL, Skybeam Planet. He did all this before breakfast to prepare for a visit to the pirates' base. After finishing his rounds and having breakfast, Iona, let's go. Kaiwat. Yes, power of dimensions. With Iona's dimensional teleportation magic, they moved to the Black Kyungi ship, which had the unique coordinates engraved. Chapter 674. From now on, Yurin Nim will take care of Beektang. 375th Dimensional Sea Zone. Kyung. Black Kyungi ship is departing. With Kyungi's shout as he grabbed the helm, the ship set sail for Grandra, the Kamal pirate crew's main base. If we keep going straight at this speed, we'll arrive in 10 hours. When Sejun asked how long it would take to get to Grandra, Camus, who took pride in his ship, replied in a confident voice. However, it takes that long. Sejun's assessment was rather harsh. Full-time employee Camus, meow. Why didn't you invest in the ship, meow? Kyung. Camus, you're bad. Because you didn't spend money, Black Kyungi ship's performance is poor. Kaying. Hey, you should have brought a better ship. Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie criticized Camus for not spending money on the ship. What the hell, do you know how much I spent trying to make the Black Angler? Camus was furious with Sejun and the others for belittling his ship. Just wait till we get to the main base. This ship will be the end of you. But thinking it was a loss to get angry at someone who would soon die, he calmed himself. Thus, the Black Kyungi ship sped forward at full throttle. As Kyungi had no need to turn the helm. Clunk. Feeling bored, he opened the void storage. And then, Kyung. Come out. Buck. He summoned the planet-destroying turtles. Kyungi brought along all the planet-destroying turtles he had released at the fountain before departure. Kyung. Haha, you guys stay here and shoot if enemies appear. Buck. Kyung. You go here. Buck. He positioned the planet-destroying turtles at various places around the ship to guard it, replacing the crew who would normally man the cannons. While Kyungi was walking around the ship like that. I'm bored, should we have some snacks? Sejun took out a brazier from the void storage and started grilling corn, potatoes, and sweet potatoes. Pew Hut, Great Hybrid Chairman Park, please make grilled fish and stir-fried peanuts too, meow. Theo asked for food for himself and Iona. Of course I was going to, even if you didn't say anything. Pew Hut, really, meow. Of course. Pew Hut, Chairman Park didn't forget me, Vice Chairman Theo. I'm happy, meow. Theo was delighted by Sejun's response. Meanwhile, Sejun skewered the fish and grilled it over direct fire, and stir-fried the peanuts in a frying pan. As the smell of food spread around. Sniff. Don't you smell something delicious? I think it's coming from over there. The bored pirates, who were sitting around doing nothing, turned their attention to Sejun. Kilahit Kaying. Hee hee, butler. Are you making roasted and dried sweet potato for great Blackie? Dedada. Even Blackie, who had been running around trying to maintain discipline among the pirates, caught the smell of roasted sweet potato and rushed over. And then, press. Using his front paws, Blackie eagerly kneaded Sejun's thigh with affection, but, heh, Blackie, there's nothing for you. How dare you side with my mom yesterday and attack me? Sejun, the king of grudges, had not forgotten how Blackie had teamed up with Kim Miran and plundered his roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Kaying, butler, I hate you. Pouting at Sejun's response, Blackie went off and hid somewhere on the pirate ship. Surely the butler will call great Blackie, right? He'll call me, he must. He waited, hidden, longing for the moment Sejun would call him. 5 minutes passed. What if the butler doesn't call me? Should I just go out now? But great Blackie has a reputation to maintain. He grew increasingly anxious and restless. Then, Park Blackie, let's eat snacks. Hearing Sejun's call. Hee hee, I knew it. Great Blackie is necessary to the butler. Feeling triumphant, Blackie revealed himself with a smug smile. But contrary to the smug smile, his feet were dashing urgently towards Sejun, his tail spinning like a propeller at 360 degrees. Pew hut. As expected, great hybrid Chairman Park's grilled fish is the best, meow. Heh, of course it is. Kaiwat. The stir-fried peanuts are delicious too. I'm glad you like them. That one needed much stronger firepower. Kyung. Haha, Dad, if you eat a bite of potato and corn together, it tastes amazing. Really? Oh, that's actually really good. Kyungi, you're a genius just like me. While Sejun was chatting and enjoying snacks with Theo, Iona and Kyungi. Slurp. Blackie was quietly eating without a word. Is it that good? Talk to us a bit while you eat. Sejun spoke to Blackie, who stayed silent. Kilahit Kaying. Hee hee, as expected, the butler's roasted and dried sweet potato is the tastiest. Heh, of course it is. Even Blackie ended up praising him. And then, slurp, gulp. The pirates, watching Sejun and the others enjoy their snacks, began drooling. Pew hut wants some, meow. Theo, who had already finished his grilled fish, began offering the remaining corn, potatoes, and sweet potatoes like a salesman. Although the pirates were already employees of Sejun Company and had been stripped of all their money, Theo could sense it. Pew hut, these guys smell like money, meow. He instinctively knew they had hidden stashes. And then, if you want to eat, pay up, meow. Here, give me some too. The pirates handed Theo thin, rectangular metal cards the size of half a palm. Meow, I don't accept metal. Pay with money or jewels, meow. Naturally, as it wasn't treasure, Theo got angry. This isn't just metal, it's a pirate card. You don't know about cards. Pew hut, of course I do, meow, just wait a bit, meow. To protect his pride as Vice Chairman Theo, he pretended to know and... Chairman Park, they gave me something called a pirate card, meow. What is this? Asked Sejun, handing over the card. Pirate card. As Sejun examined the card closely, title, one who glimpsed long into the beginning, has identified the essence of the card. His eyes turned golden, and the card's information became visible. Pirate Froze debit card. This is a debit card linked to Pirate Froze pirate bank account. You can swipe the card to use the funds in the account. Remaining balance, 300 tower coins. Issuing institution, Pirate Bank. Oh, it's like a credit card. If you swipe it, money gets deducted from the bank account. Pew hut. As expected, Chairman Park knows everything, meow. Then how do you swipe it to withdraw money from the account, meow? Like this. There was no card reader, but Sejun didn't want to say he couldn't do it to Theo, who was looking up at him with sparkling, admiring eyes, so he simply swiped the card through the air. Then how much would you like to charge? A message appeared in front of Sejun. The tone was different from System 371, And it wasn't a system message from the pirate bank either. It was a message from System SJC. Although it didn't yet have a self-awareness like System 371, and thus didn't use polite language, System SJC always prioritized Sejun and took action. So to help Sejun, it had hurriedly built a card payment system and enabled Sejun Company employees to process card payments without any terminals. At one point, the pirate bank demanded payment processing fees to connect with its accounts, but System SJC, having learned from Sejun and Theo, forcibly merged the pirate bank system, resolving the payment processing fees issue cleanly. Thanks to that, Sejun could now process payments simply by swiping a card through the air. 10 tower coins. When Sejun stated the payment amount, clink, money from the pirate bank account was withdrawn and dropped into Sejun's hand. Heh, see that? That's how you use it. Sejun spoke proudly to Theo. Pew hut, as expected of the great hybrid Chairman Park, meow, but your face is turning ugly, meow. Theo once again kneaded up Sejun's face with joy. And then, Kyuehe Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi wants to play too. Kilahit Kaying. He, Great Blackie is going to step on the butler's face too. Kyungi and Blackie pounced on Sejun's face and enthusiastically stepped on it with their front paws. A short while later, Pew hut, if you want food, hand over your cards, meow. Having learned how to use the cards, Theo opened a snack shop on the deck and started selling food to the pirates. On the way down to the 50th floor of the Black Tower, Pio, Jiakbanim this way, don't stray off. TL, if you forgot one of the 4 guardian beasts from Ariel. Tweed. Okay. Pio. Hukbuk Nim pick up the pace. Chung Niang Nim stop drinking water, and where's Beektang Nim? Piat, who had been doing a head count, realized that Beektang was missing. Yuhihehe, where did he go? Mohihe, I don't know. Pio, is I don't know all you know, go find him right now. Okay. Yup. At Piat's shout, Urin and Poyo quickly ran off to look for Beektang. Chung Niang, Hukbuk, and Jiakbai quietly waited, watching Piat's expression. The reason these seniors joined Piat's group was because Sejun had asked Piat to take them on a tower tour. It was both a chance to explore the tower and to participate in a survival camp in the face of Urin's misfortunes, all to raise them to be stronger. Thanks to that, even though Piat wasn't yet 1 year old, the youngest of them all, he was caring for 6 elders. Pew hut, Sejun Nim promised to host my first birthday party soon. With Sejun's promise, Piat didn't feel burdened. A little while later, Hehe, Piat, we found Beektang. Kaiung. Sorry, I got distracted for a moment. Urin and Poyo returned with Beektang in tow. Then, Pio. Well done. From now on, Urin Nim will take care of Beektang Nim. Yuaha, leave it to me. Piat entrusted Urin with taking care of Beektang. This was Beektang's punishment for straying off. From now on, I'll make sure Beektang Nim can't aim for Sejun Nim's lap. As Theo's right front paw, it was to ensure Beektang wouldn't dare target Theo's rightful spot, Sejun's lap. Kaiong. What? Why are rocks falling all of a sudden? And so Beektang's tribulation began. 171st Dimensional Sea Zone. Pew hut, if you want more, hand over your card, meow. Theo was energetically running his snack stand on the deck of the Black Kyungi ship. And Kyung. Dad, Kyungi wants a card too. Kyungi's eyes sparkled as he looked at the cards the pirates pulled out. If I swipe it, I can buy and eat whatever I want. To Kyungi, who still didn't understand what accounts or linking meant, a debit card looked like a magical item that let you eat anything you desired. Hehe, I'll make one for you later. After figuring out how to issue cards at Grandra, Sejun planned to craft a black card using Kaiser's dragon scale and return to roasting corn, potatoes, and sweet potatoes. Kaying. Butler, stop selling the sweet potatoes. You need to make roasted and dried sweet potato. Beside him, Blackie threw a tantrum, demanding Sejun stop selling the sweet potatoes. Here, eat this and quiet down. As soon as Sejun gave him a piece of roasted and dried sweet potato. Munch, munch, munch. Blackie got absorbed in eating. While Sejun and the others spent time on the deck like that, the black Kyungi ship approached Grandra. V. Wong. Suddenly, the space in front opened up, and Grandra, the 7th-level world that was the headquarters of the Kamo pirate crew, appeared. A path to Grandra had been opened using the dimensional interference device installed at the stern of the ship. As the ship carrying Sejun and his party appeared at Grandra, fire! All pirate ships of the Kamo pirate crew, who had been waiting for the black Kyungi ship's arrival, launched a full-scale assault. Kyuhuhu, well then farewell. Shoop! Wearing a sinister grin, Camus abandoned his subordinates and teleported to the waypoint installed in his fortress. It would have been a brilliant plan if it weren't for the planet-destroying turtles on board the black Kyungi ship. Buck, 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 buck. We must defend the ship, block them. Zing. Following Kyungi's command to defend the ship, the planet-destroying turtles fired destruction beams. Quagwagwing. As the red beams of overwhelming power vaporized the incoming attacks, the pirates, terrified, quickly raised white flags. Pew-hut, hurry and get stamped, meow. Thus, with the pirates lining up to be stamped by Theo, Sejun and his group entered Grandra without shedding a single drop of blood. Chapter 675. Hehe. This is exactly what our Vice Chairman Theo is good at. Grandra. Camus's castle victorious. Hut, shall I leisurely watch those bastards die now? Having arrived at the castle basement through the waypoint, Camus came up to the lobby and entered the situation room. However, the pirates who should have greeted Camus were all frozen in place, unable to take their eyes off the situation room monitor. And then, what? Why are they surrendering? To Camus's eyes, all the pirate ships were waving white flags in surrender. Because he had come up from the basement, he hadn't seen the destruction beams fired by the planet-destroying turtles, and so Camus couldn't understand what was going on. But thanks to his decades of experience as a pirate, there was one thing he could grasp. If I stay here, I'm finished. Camus hurriedly ran to the treasure vault, located even lower than the floor with the waypoint. He was thinking of grabbing some treasure and escaping. He didn't intend to take everything, nor did he need to. Just taking a few of his top-tier collections would be enough to never worry about money for the rest of his life. And so, planning to flee to the furthest place he could reach using the waypoint, Camus gathered treasures. Krieg. Arriving at the treasure vault, he opened the door to the vault. Whoosh. Blue magical torches lit up in the treasure vault. Click. Camus grabbed the third torch from the left on the wall and pulled it. Rumble. With a mechanical clunk, the wall of the treasure vault opened, revealing a secret vault where only Camus's top-tier collection was kept. Hello, my Bobby's daddy, here. Greeting his collection affectionately, Camus hurried to pack the most valuable items in order. After gathering up to his 15th collection, Number 16, I'm sorry to the rest as well. He gazed longingly at the remaining collections with eyes full of regret and reluctantly turned away. At that moment, Hut, Camus found you, meow. Theo appeared in front of Camus. When Camus disappeared from the black Kyungi ship, Kaiwat, this magic wave. Yona had read the magic pattern created by Camus as he moved, and quickly tracked the coordinates to follow him. Thanks to that, the remaining pirate subordinates who hadn't received their stamps yet were stuck helplessly under the strict surveillance of the planet-destroying turtles. How could this be? Shiver. Camus's nape tingled at Theo's appearance. At the same time, despair surged in him. There's no way I can escape. Ha, I wasn't trying to run away at all. I just came early to open the treasure vault. He desperately made excuses to save his life, But Sejun and his companions had already obtained confessions from the other pirates that they had received Camus's orders to launch an all-out attack. And then, Kyung, if you lie, you're a bad guy. You need to be punished. Kyungi, who had learned from Sejun that liars must be punished, pulled out his thunderbolt staff and approached Camus. That's right, liars should be punished. I really taught him well. Sejun nodded with a pleased smile as he watched Kyungi, who only spoke the truth. Kyung. And you did a lot of other bad things too. That's why Kyungi is angry. On top of the sin of lying, Camus was also guilty of attempted theft of Sejun's treasure and attempted destruction of the Black Kyungi ship. His sins were very heavy. Thud. Zzzt. Arg. And so, Kyungi's electrifying beating began. Betrayers can't be forgiven. From today onwards, Camus is the youngest member of Grandra. Sejun said to Camus as he was being beaten by Kyungi. Thus, Camus was demoted from great pirate to youngest member. His life became incredibly miserable. And the rumor spread among the pirates that betraying Sejun Company meant being demoted to the youngest, instilling a strong sense of fear not to betray. To the pirates, becoming the youngest was a greater humiliation than dying. Black Tower, 99th floor. Kueahaha, come on, let's drink. Cheers. Ku, that's good. The dragons of the 9 Dragons Council were drinking merrily together. Don't you think the younger dragons these days are getting way stronger? The great silver dragon Chrysella asked the others. Then, right, the power they emit is far too much for their age. That's why young dragons nowadays are having trouble controlling their strength. The other dragons agreed with Chrysella's comment. And then, it's probably because they've been eating a lot of Sejun's crops. Actually, these days, I sometimes use too much strength without meaning to. Same here. 2. Even dragons of the leader class were experiencing issues with controlling their power. The great dragons, born with almost infinite potential, who become the strongest in the universe just by breathing and aging. Now, having consumed Sejun's crops, they were gaining power so quickly that they couldn't contain their own strength. On top of that, dragons absorbed almost 100% of the magic power infused in Sejun's crops, making the effects dozens of times stronger. And the older the dragons were, the more drastically they got stronger from eating Sejun's crops. This was due to their bloodline power. Bloodline power, power of an adult dragon, grants the ability to use 10 times the power of their current stats. Over time, the bloodline power evolves into mature adult dragon's power, strong dragon's power, and ancient dragon's power, amplifying stats by 100-fold, 1,000-fold, 10,000-fold, and more. Thus, the older they got, the harder it became to control their strength. Furthermore, when one becomes a leader, the bloodline power evolves into leader dragon's power, with an effect of 1,000,000 times stat amplification. Meaning, if their magic power stat increases by 1, they gain 1,000,000 more magic power. For reference, it is said that the legendary first dragons had powers that amplified stats by 100,000,000 times. Looks like we need training. Yeah, I guess we do. This rate, we might affect even the tower itself. Getting stronger is such a pain. Even the great dragons, who normally hated training, realized they needed to train to control their power. Grandra. Guys, let's pack up everything. Puhuhut got it, meow. Kaiwat, yes. Kyung. Kaying. Sejun and his companions began looting Camus's treasure vault. Since there were many treasures of various types, it took quite a while to classify and store them in void storage. So Sejun and his companions spent an entire day working in the treasure vault, even eating meals there. While everyone was busy collecting the treasures. Kilahit Kaying. Great Blackie must also burn treasure to become stronger. Great Blackie would now become powerful through money. You have awakened talent, becoming stronger than the butler by burning treasure. Blackie, who had awakened a new talent, began secretly burning treasure. Just as Kyungi had the talent to immediately mimic what he saw, Blackie, though not instant, could understand the principle and adapt it for his own use. Talent, becoming stronger than the butler by burning treasure, is activating. According to the law of equivalent exchange, 7 kg of gold is converted to +7 in all stats. All stats have increased by 7. According to the law of equivalent exchange, 5 kg of gold is converted to +5 in all stats. All stats have increased by 5. As Blackie burned small gemstones to raise his stats. Hawk Blackie, you're not allowed to burn treasure, meow. Theo discovered it and got angry. Kaying. Why not? Big brother burns treasure too. Blackie argued with Theo. Pew hut, I'm Vice Chairman Theo so I can meow, but Blackie you can't meow. But Theo didn't persuade with logic. It was simply that only he could do it. Kaying. No way, I'm doing it too. Naturally, Blackie couldn't accept that. Huck, erase it right now, meow. Grrrr, kaying. Grrrr, I won't erase it. A sibling dispute broke out. Kaiwat. Young Master Blackie, I'll give you 10 roasted and dried sweet potatoes if you erase your talent. Kaying. Really? Kaiwat. Of course, here you go. Kilahit kaying. I erased it. Fortunately, Iona mediated and quickly resolved the situation. Thus, it was Theo and Iona who stopped the major disaster of Blackie becoming stronger than Sejun at an early stage. After several hours passed. Done. At last, Camus's treasure vault was cleaned out. Sejun and his group scraped the floor clean, not even leaving behind a single small gold piece. All right then, let's head to that place called the Pirate Bank. Pew hut sounds good, meow. They were heading there to ask how to issue a card. As they left Victoria's castle and were on their way to the Pirate Bank. Meow. Vice Chairman Theo, what's wrong? My front paw is being pulled, meow. Theo sensed his front paw being drawn towards something. Really, where? That way, meow. Following Theo's guidance, Sejun and his companions arrived at. Welcome, everything is 1 tower coin. Test your luck, everyone. A merchant was selling utterly worthless items laid out before him, stuff no one could be angry about even if you called it trash. It was a lottery-style shop that bought goods pirates couldn't dispose of after plundering, and sold them in bulk for cheap. Oh, a lottery draw. Heh, this is exactly what our Vice Chairman Theo is good at. I'll pick 10, here are 10 tower coins. Knowing that Theo would definitely draw a jackpot item, Sejun handed over 10 tower coins out of pity for the merchant who would soon be suffering. Thank you, then please choose 10 items. What a sucker, there's only real garbage here. The merchant, Het, expressed thanks outwardly while mocking Sejun in his heart. That's because Het could use appraisal magic, and had already sold anything remotely valuable after appraising it himself. So among the items laid out now, there wasn't a single thing worth more than 1 tower coin. Of course, that was Het's assumption. Vice Chairman Theo picked 10. Pew hut got it, meow. Theo had quite a bit to choose from. Theo picked the 10 items in order from the one he felt the strongest pull from. After the 5th, he just picked randomly. Then, Kaiwat, power of magic. Donna immediately used appraisal magic to identify the items. She started appraising from the last item Theo had picked. The last 3 were truly garbage items, not even worth 1 tower coin. Then, upon appraising the 7th item Theo had picked, an item worth about 10 tower coins appeared. That's lucky. Het merely thought Theo was lucky. Then, upon appraising the 6th item, out came an item worth about 100 tower coins. And then, something's off. Just as Het began to feel something strange, the 5th through 3rd items that Theo had chosen were appraised. No way. Alyig. Every time an appraisal finished, Het screamed. a statue of the singing archangel, carved by Master Odysseus. Number 78 of the top 100 dimensional daggers, Demon Slayer. Detox Gem, of which only 1,000 were made by the renowned Poison family, Sejun's Tang family. Each of them was worth well over 10 billion tower coins on its own. And then, 104, 28, 193, 250 fragment of the great golden dragon's heart. When the item Theo picked second was appraised. I'm not selling it, give it back. Het lunged to snatch the item from Yona's hand. Kaying, don't touch my sister-in-law. Sister-in-law gave Great Blackie 10 roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Thump. He received mental education from Blackie's headbutt. Hehe, I feel a little bad, Sejun said as he looked at the unconscious Het, but his expression didn't look sorry at all. And then, hehe, I'll save this for later. Sejun carefully put the heart fragment of the great golden dragon, about the size of a small bead, into his pocket. Since eating it alone might get him killed, he planned to consume it under the watch of dragons. While Sejun was storing the dragon heart fragment, Iona was appraising the item Theo had picked first, a stone tablet covered in strange letters. However, Kaiwat, even with Iona's appraisal, the tablet showed no reaction. Then title, one who glimpsed long into the beginning, has identified the essence of the tablet. Sejun's eyes turned golden. And then, it worked. At last, Sejun Nim has obtained the second access code. System 371 cheered. Chapter 676, hahaha, I was the one who raised our Vice Chairman Theo. Code number 2. This is the second code to access System 371. You need to collect all 3 codes 1, 2, and 3 to access System 371. Contents of the tablet revealed through title, one who glimpsed long into the beginning. The explanation was too unfriendly for its value. However, it was not a problem for Sejun, who was one step closer to the impeachment of System 371. He had finally gathered one. Wait for me, System 371. Vice Chairman Theo, you did very well. This could never have been found without Theo. Sejun laughed like a villain and gave Theo high praise. As Sejun praised Theo greatly. Hut, I Vice Chairman Theo, always do extremely well, meow. Theo bragged. Kaiwat, that's my boyfriend for you. Yona also boasted. And then, Kyung. Haha, as expected, Kyungi's big brother is amazing. Kilahit Kaying. He's worthy of being the big brother of Great Blackie. Kyungi and Blackie, who regarded Theo as their big brother, also swelled with pride. As the wave of pride spread in succession. Hahaha, I was the one who raised our Vice Chairman Theo. Sejun also felt proud. Meow, Chairman Park's face is rotting, meow. Everyone charge meow. Kaiwat, okay. Kyung. It's time to knead Dad's face. Kaying. Step on him. Theo, Iona, Kyungi, and Blackie all charged and stomped Sejun's face, ending the chain reaction of boasting. Hut, Chairman Park, just wait a little, meow. It's almost back to normal, meow. I'm fine already. No, meow. It's because I, Vice Chairman Theo, fixed you, meow. Kyungi also had a part in it. Kaying. The Great Blackie also stepped hard, while Sejun's face was being stomped on and purified by everyone. Het, who had received mental training from the Blackie family, regained consciousness. What is this? Het discovered a cat paw stamp imprinted on the back of his hand. That's right. While unconscious, Theo had stamped him, making Het a full-time employee of Sejun Company. Hut. Het, from now on, you're the team leader of Sejun Company's lottery department, so bring lots of things to draw, meow. Theo, who had healed Sejun's face, approached Het and said this. For reference, the lottery department was just established by Sejun, and Het held the roles of team leader, deputy leader and youngest member. In short, Het was a solo team. However, Vice Chairman Theo, I actually belong to the Ritna Trading Company. Het already had an affiliation. Pew Hut resigned from there, meow. Of course, Theo didn't care. Do you not know about the Ritna Trading Company? If you want to leave, you either have to cut off both legs or pay 10 billion tower coins. The one being told to resign was internally panicking. Damn it, if only I hadn't signed back then. At the same time, the resentment of being tricked into joining the Ritna Trading Company in his youth under the promise of making lots of money surged. Then I'll resign from here first. In a fit of rage, Het applied for resignation. However, how dare you raise your voice in front of our great hybrid Chairman Park, meow. Grrrking. Grrrr, big brother, leave it to great hybrid Blackie. Thunk. Instead of resignation, he received mental re-education from the Blackie family. A little later, Pew Hut, Het, don't worry, meow. Now that you're a full-time employee of Sejun Company, we'll protect you, meow. As Theo spoke reassuringly to Het, who had finished Blackie's mental training. So, what should I do? If I move around, I'll definitely run into the Ritna Trading Company. It's not like Vice Chairman Theo will always be with me. Het cautiously asked while watching Theo and Blackie. Meow. Het is right, meow. At Het's reasonable point, Theo pondered briefly. Chairman Park helped me, meow. Eventually, he sent a pleading glance at Sejun, signaling an SOS. And then just assign him a bodyguard. Kyungi assigned one Buck to Het for close protection. After a brief moment of thought, Sejun decided to assign a planet-destroying turtle as Het's bodyguard. It was an excessive level of protection, but since it was Sejun's command, no one objected. Kyung. Got it, I own a sister-in-law. Please use the dimensional transfer magic. Kaiwat, okay, power of magic. With Iona's help, Kyungi used teleportation magic to move to the Black Kyungi ship. Kyung. Buck number 23, you're coming with Kyungi. Buck. It is an honor. I will follow you to the ends of hell. Kyung. Good. He brought back one planet-destroying turtle and attached it to Het's chest like a brooch. Kyung. Buck number 23, from now on, you'll protect this guy. Buck. Yes, sir. And so the planet-destroying turtle, Buck number 23, became Het's personal guard. Do I really have to guard this lowly being instead of fighting alongside Kyungi-nim? He didn't like it, but followed orders without complaint because it was from Kyungi. But then, what can such a tiny turtle possibly do? The protectee grumbled, unaware of his place. How dare he? Zing! Buck number 23 didn't hold back and fired a mini destruction beam, vaporizing a building to make a point. But thanks to Buck number 23's show of force, Het quietly and dearly clung to the turtle on his chest. Of course, Het also had to compensate for the building Buck number 23 destroyed. Well then, see you next time. Pew Hut, bring lots of things to draw, meow. And so, Sejun and his party parted ways with Het and headed to the pirate bank as originally planned. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Were. Then I'll be off. I'll also gather lots of information. Poisonous Queen Bee Sweetie spoke with determination as she tied dozens of liquor bottles to her body with rope. All right, come back safely. Were. Sweetie Nim, please be careful on your way. Were. Take care. Toriong 7th and the other queen bees saw Sweetie off, transferring to Hell's pawnshop. With that, Sweetie and the alcohol disappeared, and hey, Sweetie, welcome. Hell, the god of merchants, warmly greeted Sweetie. Wow, it's liquor made by Sejun. Or perhaps it was the liquor Sweetie brought that she was welcoming so warmly. Were. Hello, Hell Nim. I heard a lot about you from Sejun Nim and Theo Nim. They said you're so diligent and competent. Sweetie, the poisonous queen bee, greeted Hell with an alluring voice, never letting her gaze stray from Sejun's liquor. Hehe, Sejun and Theo said that I'm competent. Word. Yes, how can someone be so competent like you? I'm sure they did. Hell was completely charmed by Sweetie's words. Haha, it's a trade secret, but I'll tell you everything, Sweetie. Word. Ah, really, please tell me, but in Tartarus. Hehe, about that. Fully disarmed, Hell started gleefully leaking secrets to Sweetie, this time not even under the influence of alcohol. Grandra, as Sejun and his party asked the locals for directions to the pirate bank. Welcome, this is the pirate bank's main branch. The staff greeted Sejun and the others. However, Pew Hut, hand over the money, meow. Sejun and his party hadn't come with good intentions, and they immediately began robbing the bank. Although they originally came to inquire about how to issue a card, more is always better. Since the pirates earned this bad money through plunder, it should be okay to take it. Probably, it'll be fine. After subduing the bank's security, Kaiwat, it's open. With Iona's magic, they opened the vault and took about 1,000 trillion tower coins. And then, how do you issue cards? They woke the unconscious bank manager to ask how to issue a card. Of course, the back of the manager's hand already had Theo's stamp on it. A card issuance. You simply stamp the pirate bank mark with this stamp on a card engraved with a name, and the card is issued. The bank manager said this, as he took out a stamp made of what appeared to be a luxurious material. Is that so? That's easy, but I don't like the mark. Theo, your claw. Pew Hut, here it is, meow. Snap. Sejun had Theo take out his claw. Scrape. Using Theo's claw, Sejun lightly sliced off the part of the pirate bank mark on the stamp to make it flat. Then, scratch. He began engraving his own name. He was trying to create a card issued by Sejun Company. Originally, the pirate bank mark contained an invisible, complex magic circle that made it impossible to issue cards otherwise. But since System SJC, which had absorbed the pirate bank system, was supporting Sejun, he could engrave whatever strange thing he wanted and still successfully issue a card. Hehe, all done. With that, Sejun had finished engraving his name on the stamp. Pew Hut, Vice Chairman Theo will engrave mine too, meow. Press. Theo then stamped his own paw print onto the stamp. Kyung, Kaying, Kyungi and Blackie, who had been eyeing the stamp from the side, quickly added their own paw prints. Kaiwat. Yona also quietly stamped the center of Theo's paw print with her own 2 dainty front paws. Thus, around Sejun's name, paw prints of Theo, Iona, and Kyungi were engraved. Kaying. Why is Great Blackie's paw not imprinted? Blackie, being too weak, couldn't leave a paw print. Stay still and put your paw there. Killahit Kaying. Hee butler, that tickles. What's done is done. Sejun held Blackie's paw to the stamp and carefully traced it. Scratch. He engraved it himself. Then, Peacebees, put some strength in your paw for a moment. Pip. Press. He even stamped the paw print of the sleeping Peacebees onto the stamp. Thus, the initial version of the Sejun Company emblem was born. It was called the initial version because many more would likely step up to add their paw prints. Soon, the Sejun Company mark would be filled with many more. Then shall we make a card for our Kyungi? Kyungi, flatten this. Sejun pulled out one of Kaiser's scales and asked Kyungi. Kyung. Bang. Kyungi placed the slightly curved Kaiser's scale between his 2 front paws and struck it dozens of times to flatten it. Then, Theo, cut this to the same size as the other pirate cards and engrave Kyungi's name. He instructed Theo to cut the flattened Kaiser scale into a card-like size. Pew Hut, leave it to me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. With full focus, Theo neatly trimmed the scale and engraved the name, Park Kyungi. Theo's front paw glowed faintly. Though Theo had dragon claws, Kaiser's scale was so tough that cutting it cleanly required a lot of magic power. Burn brightly, meow. Unbeknownst to Sejun, his money was being consumed in that process, of course. Thus, after spending a tremendous amount of money, the black card was finally completed. Press. Sejun stamped the card. You have issued a black card. The black card was issued. Did it work? Sejun checked the options. Park Kyungi's black card. A card made from the scale of the great black dragon leader, Kaiser Pratani. It is linked to Park Kyungi's Sejun company account. You can use the money in the account by swiping the card. Remaining balance, 50,313 tower coins. If the account has no money, credit transactions are available. Grade black. Limit none. Issuer Sejun Company. Our Kyungi has saved up quite a bit of allowance. Wait, what do you mean the limit is unlimited? Sejun began to have second thoughts about whether he should really give Kyungi this black card. However, with just that, Kyungi can buy anything he wants to eat. Kyungi's eyes were already locked onto the black card in Sejun's hand, simply waiting for Sejun to hand it over. Kyungi, using a card is dangerous. Make sure to think 3 times before you use it. Got it? Kyung. Got it, I'll think 3 times before using it. With a firm promise from Kyungi, Sejun handed over the black card to him with trembling hands. But Sejun didn't know. Kyungi usually thought about it around 100 times before buying food. Can I eat this? Can I eat this? Can I eat this? I thought 3 times, so now I can use the card. Telling Kyungi to only think 3 times was essentially unlocking his restraint. Sejun's money was now in danger. Kilahit Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, buy some food for Great Blackie too. Even Blackie joined in, further threatening Sejun's funds. However, Hut, since there's a lot of money saved up, I want to make Chairman Park's rotting face a little less rot, meow. The one who always posed the greatest threat to Sejun's money was Theo. Chapter 677. Kyungi will earn lots of money and help pay for Dad's treatment. Black Tower, 50th floor. Kaiyong. We're finally here. Now all my misfortune will come to an end. Baekdang cheered loudly upon reaching the 50th floor of the tower. Baekdang firmly believed that once he reached the 50th floor, all of his misfortune would disappear. However, Puik. Bird droppings fell on Baekdang's head. Splash. Kaiyong. Ack poop, can't you see there's a leopard here? Watch where you poop. Baekdang shouted toward the sky, but the bird that had pooped had already flown far away. Kaiyong. I thought my luck would improve once I reached the 50th floor of the tower. Baekdang had a sullen expression. Baekdang, I'll wipe it for you. Urine wiped the bird droppings from Baekdang's head. Kaiyong. Thank you, Urine Nim. Baekdang expressed thanks to Urine. I should be the one thanking you. Kaiyong. He still didn't know where his misfortune was coming from. Grandra. Now let's finish stamping the remaining pirates and go home. As Sejun exited the main branch of the pirate bank, ready to finish the remaining tasks and return home. Hut, Chairman Park, I'm sleepy, meow. Let's sleep before going back, meow. Theo whined, saying he was sleepy. Are you really tired? Normally, Theo would just sleep on Sejun's lap, so Sejun asked in a concerned voice. That's right, meow. I'm very sleepy, meow. I must sleep immediately, meow. Let's sleep over there, meow. Theo whined and led Sejun to a quiet clearing where sunlight streamed down. All right, let's rest our eyes a bit. So Sejun sat down in the plaza and placed Theo on his lap. Cure. And immediately fell asleep, just Sejun alone. Hut Iona, thank you, meow. Kaiwat. It's Theonim's request after all. It was Iona who had put Sejun to sleep, using a sleep spell at Theo's request. Hut, now it's time to fix Chairman Park's rotten face, meow. Theo carefully laid Sejun down and smiled brightly. All of this was part of Theo's grand plan to massage Sejun's face. Kyungi and Blackie, go play somewhere else for now, meow. Kyung. Kaying. Knowing what Theo was about to do, Kyungi and Blackie quietly left so as not to interfere. Kaiwat, power of magic. Yona deployed protective and silence magic around the area, guarding the space so that no one could disturb Theo. Whoosh. Theo's front paw began to shine brightly. Press. Theo began massaging Sejun's face with great care and concentration. Theo instinctively felt it. Sejun was in danger if things continued like this. Sejun, a person from a level 1 world, had managed to survive until now. He had barely held on thanks to the help of his companions, maintaining a delicate balance that was always on the verge of collapse. But now he was continuously pushing beyond his limits, and his insides were completely rotting from overexertion. To make matters worse, Earth had recently become a level 2 world, and Sejun's condition had further deteriorated. One might ask what the problem is since Earth's level growth increased potential, but Sejun's body was already in a state of extreme overexertion. It was like a rubber band stretched to its limit just before breaking. Even though the rubber band had thickened with added strength, it didn't help much because of the many tears already present. In fact, the rapid increase in stats only intensified the pulling force, worsening his body's condition even faster. Theo described Sejun's condition as his face rotting, and had been treating him based on that. Of course, there was also the added benefit of making Sejun more handsome. After all, Theo had originally used healing magic because Sejun was too ugly. Anyway, Sejun was now more rotten than ever before. Why Theo only notices the rot when Sejun is being smug, or why he treats Sejun's face even when other parts are injured, remains a mystery. But what was clear is that Theo was treating Sejun. Press. Each time Theo's front paw pressed Sejun's face, the broken, stretched, and overworked parts of his body began to heal little by little. Pew hut, money, burned brightly for our great hybrid chairman park, meow. It cost a lot of money, though. While Theo was treating Sejun, Kyungi and Blackie were exploring the shopping district. At that moment, Kilahit Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, great Blackie wants to eat that. Blackie caught a whiff of sweet potato bread from a bakery and begged Kyungi. Kyung. Wait just a moment, I'll check. Kyungi stared intensely at the bread. Can I eat it? Can I eat it? Can I eat it? After contemplating 3 times. Kyung. Haha, now it's okay, let's buy it and eat it. Kilahit Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, let's buy 10. Kyung. No, we're going to buy 100 pieces of bread. They went all out, using the black card Sejun had given them. That will be 10 tower coins. Though the amount wasn't much in the end. As the two were happily going around the market street, buying and eating food. A dangerous dinner show hosted by the pirate's top chef and food killer Pugaro will begin shortly. Entry fee is only 1 million tower coins. Each time you survive eating Pugaro the food killer's dishes, the prize money doubles, and there are 10 dishes to eat. Time is running out. Those who haven't signed up yet, hurry and register. The announcement echoed around them. Kyung. They're giving food and money too. Kilahit Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, let's join too. It was more than enough to lure in Kyungi and Blackie. With a name like Dangerous Dinner Show, it seemed like some ominous foods would be served, but Kyung. All right, we're joining too. Kaying. Great Blackie is going to win this. They had already made up their minds. Kyung. 2 participants here. Kyungi paid the entry fee for both of them using the card and entered the building where the dinner show was being held. Inside, around 10,000 participants were seated in front of individual dining tables. This way, please. Kyungi and Blackie were also guided to their designated table and sat side by side. A short while later. Now let's begin the dinner show. Pugero's first dish is 5 giant crab meat burgers. If you finish them all, you may challenge the next dish. By the way, since this is a pirate city, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't get caught. Not that we plan on monitoring you much. Ha ha ha. As the host spoke, staff placed 5 thick hamburgers, almost the size of soccer balls, on each participant's table. Q-ha, you eat mine too. Huh, why did I suddenly get 10? Was it you? Participants were forcing or tricking others into taking more crab burgers. And then, Kyung, don't tell me this is it. Kyungi was deeply disappointed by the 5 crab burgers, thinking it didn't live up to the title food killer. Kyung, Kyungi Hyung eat mine too. As expected, my butler's roasted and dried sweet potato is the best. Blackie took one bite of the crab burger and lost interest, asking Kyungi to eat the rest. Kyungi devoured all 10 crab burgers in no time. Though the taste was far inferior to Sejun's cooking, Kyungi was satisfied to fill his belly a bit and watch the other pirates' battles with Blackie. Kyung, that looks like something Dad could learn. Kilahit Kaying. He the butler, no way. They were observing to see if there was a skill Sejun could learn. 30 minutes later. Looks like everyone who could eat has finished. Eliminated participants who couldn't finish their food, please leave. Following the host's instruction, the eliminated contestants left. Most had to be carried out or helped due to serious injuries. Once the eliminated participants were gone, only about 3,000 remained. Around 70% had been eliminated with the first dish. Huh, those 2 are still here. What the? The remaining participants finally noticed Kyungi and Blackie and looked surprised. They had assumed the 2 would be eliminated and didn't bother messing with them. Looks like we'll have to get rid of those guys first. As a few participants gave Kyungi and Blackie sly smiles. Before we serve the next dish, we'll give you a choice. Those who pass the first round can now receive double the entry fee, 2 million tower coins as prize money. If you want to forfeit the next round and take the reward, please raise your hand now. For your information, if you eat the next dish, the prize money becomes 6 million tower coins. The host offered the participants a choice: to quit and take the reward or continue the challenge. Since everyone had entered hopping to cash in, no one raised their hand. Very good, you're all very brave. Then we'll move on to the next dish. Pugero's second dish is calamansi juice to soothe your greasy stomachs from the crab meat burgers earlier. As the host introduced the second dish, staff brought out calamansi juice in ordinary-looking glasses and placed them before the participants. This time the quantity wasn't large. What's this? Nothing special. A few participants, unaware, took the shot. KRRK. Buffy. They grimaced and twisted their bodies at the piercing sourness. Puh. Trickle. Some couldn't withstand the sourness and spat or sprayed out the juice. Spitting out the food means disqualification. They were immediately disqualified. Gulp. Of course, it was an easy task for Kyungi. Kyung. Kyungi Hyung, I don't like this. Great Blackie doesn't want it either. Kyungi drank Blackie's share too. Just then. Hehe, you drank that so well, then you should drink mine too. Drip, drip, drip. A pirate named Lumio poured his own juice into Kyungi's empty glass. But, trickle, trickle, trickle. The juice didn't go into the cup and spilled out instead. Dad told me not to drink after someone else. Kyungi had blocked the cup's mouth using telekinesis. Disqualified. Thus, Lumio, who wasted his juice, was eliminated. How did he do that? Should I feed him directly? Just force it down. Seeing this, the other participants approached Kyungi with different tactics. Kuying. If you come at me, you'll be sorry. Kyungi's ferocious Kyung Fu made the approaching pirates back off instantly. GRRR Kaying. GRRR. Come closer and Great Blackie will punish you. Blackie also growled from the side, but it didn't seem to deter the pirates much. Once all the calamansi juice had been consumed, the remaining participants numbered 2,700. This round was easier, so there weren't many disqualifications. Now it's time to choose again. Once more, the host asked if participants would forfeit and take 6 million tower coins, or continue the challenge and aim for 4 times that, 24 million tower coins. Naturally, no one forfeited, and Pugaro's third dish was brought out. Pugaro's third dish is a supersized chestnut bun. As the host introduced the dish, staff brought in massive buns on trays. Buns nearly the size of compact cars. Crunch, crunch. Kyungi leisurely finished even Blackie's bun and waited for the next dish. Honestly, he wasn't even 10% full yet. After finishing the third dish, 2,000 participants remained. The next dish is bitter melon salad. Soon the fourth dish was presented. The prize now jumped to 5 times, 120 million tower coins. Kyung. It's too bitter. For Kyungi, who absolutely hated bitterness, this was the first real danger. Should I give up? As Kyungi stared at the bitter melon salad, wondering whether to continue. Meow, why is it so rotten, meow? Theo was startled, realizing Sejun's face was more rotten than he had expected. Sejun's condition was so bad, it couldn't be resolved with the money they had. He couldn't stop the healing midway since he had already opened the wound. That would be more dangerous for Sejun. I need more money, meow. Theo needed to come up with an additional 1,000 trillion tower coins within the hour. A crisis for the Sejun family. At that moment, crunch, crunch. If I eat all 10, Kyungi can make lots of money. Kyungi will earn lots of money and help pay for Dad's treatment. Kyungi began pushing through the bitterness of the bitter melon salad, enduring for Sejun's sake. Chapter 678, An Invaluable Clunker. Sejun's mental world. Sejun strolled through the farm, enjoying the pleasantly breezy wind. Humming a tune. Sejun was in a very good mood right now. The reason was, Hehe, why do I feel so good? I feel like I could fly. I could soar up to the sky, because it was time to let go of everything worldly and move on. Unaware that the time of his death was approaching, Sejun was simply enjoying the feeling. Grandra. Kyung. I ate it all. Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, you're the best. Kyungi, who had endured and finished even Blackie's salad, raised his arms in celebration with Blackie. And then, Pugaro's fifth dish is the gingerbread house. The fifth challenge began. This time the dish is quite large, so we ask the participants to move. Please follow me. The participants followed the host, and they saw hundreds of life-sized houses made entirely of sweets. It would have been nice if Yuren Hyung were here too. While Kyungi belatedly thought of Yuren. Then please begin your meal. Following the host's guidance, the participants began eating the gingerbread houses. Kyung. Hehe, this is fun. Even Kyungi, whose mouth had turned bitter from the earlier salad, excitedly began eating the gingerbread house. Bang! Kyungi boldly attacked the wall first. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, this is fun. Blackie ran around inside the gingerbread house. Hee, it tastes like sweet potato. Slurp, slurp, slurp. And started from the doorknob. However, Kaying. Kyungi Hyung, the great Blackie is full. Blackie, who barely managed to eat a single doorknob, lay on his back with his belly sticking out and asked Kyungi for help. Kyung. Hehe, leave it to Kyungi Hyung. Kyungi, whose stomach wasn't even 10% full yet, cleanly finished Blackie's share as well. After they finished the gingerbread houses, around 700 participants remained. Now it's time to choose. Before the sixth dish was revealed, the host gave them the choice to either take the prize money and quit or continue the challenge. And then, From now on, dishes worthy of the name of Pugaro, the food killer, will be served. Participants, please act accordingly. You must eat your food entirely on your own. Otherwise, you will be disqualified. He warned that from the next challenge onward, no shortcuts would be allowed. This was the real, dangerous dinner show starting now. Kyung. Blackie, you are full now, so take a break. Kaying. Okay, great, Blackie will cheer you on instead. With that, including Blackie, 100 participants gave up the challenge, and the remaining 600 faced the sixth dish. A short while later. Ding! The bell rang in the kitchen. Pugaro's sixth dish is meatballs laced with the poison of ojusa. 10 dark red meatballs were placed in front of each participant. True to the name of the food killer, this dish was laced with poison. Gulp! Of course, it was no problem at all for Kyungi. Kyung. It feels a little lacking. No, the problem, if there was one, was that the amount was too small. Then the next dish. The 7th, 8th, and 9th dishes that followed were large portions laced with stronger poisons and overwhelmingly bitter, sour, and salty flavors. In the end, Kyungi was the only participant left. The others couldn't eat any more or couldn't withstand the poison, so they quit. Now, participant Kyungi, will you quit the challenge here and take the 3,628.8 billion tower coins prize? Or will you challenge Pugaro's 10th dish and claim 20 times the prize? Kyung. I'll challenge it. Kyungi answered the host's question without a moment of hesitation. Still too weak at calculations to count beyond 10,000, he didn't know how much the prize would increase if he took the challenge, but I want to earn more money for Dad's treatment. Kyungi just wanted to earn as much as he could. And then, oh, participant Kyungi has chosen to challenge Pugaro's 10th dish. At last, we'll be able to see the food killer Pugaro's 10th dish for the first time in dinner show history. At Kyungi's response, the host shouted in an excited voice. Although Pugaro's dinner show had been held hundreds of times so far, Pugaro had never made a 10th dish in his own dinner show. That was because the participants had either died or given up before reaching that point. A moment later. Ding! The bell rang in the kitchen. This 10th dish is called Devil's Tears. It is said to be a dish that condenses 5 flavors together with poison. A staff member placed a dish in front of Kyungi. At the center of a wide plate were 5 tear-shaped dots. 5 dots smaller than a pinky fingernail. The amount was very small, but the effort and ingredients that had gone into making this tiny dish were beyond imagination. However, it's not that great. According to Kyungi's standards, it wasn't a delicious dish. Just from the smell, Kyungi could tell that this dish did not come close to Sejun's cooking. Kyungi had the talent called gourmet, which made him feel full when eating delicious food. That talent had evolved day by day, reaching a stage where he could determine the taste and fullness level of a dish just from its aroma. The fact that the chef who prepared this dish had the title of food killer alone placed him far below Sejun in comparison. So Kyungi never said Pugaro's food was delicious while eating it. And then, lick. He licked the dish, made with Pugaro's tremendous effort and rare ingredients, casually as if eating an ordinary meal. As expected, it doesn't fill me up. I want to eat Dad's cooking soon. Gulp! As Kyungi swallowed Pugaro's dish while thinking of Sejun's cooking. Oh, Kyungi has swallowed the devil's tears. If he endures for one more minute, the 72,576 billion tower coins will be his. 59, 58. The host began the countdown. Kilahit kaying. Hey, host, hurry and hand over the money. Kyungi Hyung, elder brother of Great Blackie, can definitely endure this. Blackie urged the host to hand over the money. 2-1. Then the minute was up. Success! Kyungi has eaten food killer Pugaro's 10th dish and safely completed the dangerous dinner show. Kyungi, congratulations. The host congratulated Kyungi. At that moment, Clab, clab, clab. Well done. Pugaro, who had been in the kitchen, revealed himself while applauding. He was a slender man so beautiful he could be mistaken for a woman. Mr. Kyungi, let me make a proposal. If you eat my ultimate dish, I will give you 100 times the prize money. Pugaro proposed a new challenge to Kyungi. To pay 100 times the 72.576 trillion tower coins, he would have to bet all the money he had earned through his dangerous dinner show up to this point. But it didn't matter. By coincidence, his dinner show had gained popularity thanks to its unusual concept and had earned enormous wealth. But for Pugaro, who had devoted himself solely to cooking, money wasn't what mattered. It had been 500 years since he began cooking. He had spent his whole life searching for a guest who would eat the ultimate dish he created. He was deeply curious about the taste evaluation from someone who could eat a dish even he himself could not. Oh, food killer Pugaro is proposing a new challenge. The condition is 100 times the prize money. What a shocking offer. Kyungi, will you accept? The host, caught off guard by the unexpected development, cried out excitedly. This was the beauty of hosting. And then, Kyung. Okay. Kyungi naturally accepted Pugaro's long-cherished offer. Hehe, Kyungi is going to earn a lot of money. The food wasn't very filling, which was a bit disappointing, but since he'd get money just by eating, there was no reason to refuse. Thank you, please wait just a moment. As Pugaro hurried back into the kitchen to begin cooking. This is bad, meow. We're almost out of money, meow. If this keeps up, our great hybrid Chairman Park will die, meow. Theo, who was healing Sejun, became increasingly worried as Sejun's wealth dwindled. The fortunes he and Yona had were already long gone. Pip pip, big brother here. Peace hurriedly went to the Black Tower and got money from Aileen and the dragons. The dragons usually spent all their tower coins at the dragon market, so they barely had any money on hand. Even after scraping together all they could, they were still short by about 100 trillion. High cost, low efficiency. Sejun was truly the worst mileage clunker. But, no way, meow. What am I supposed to do without Chairman Park, meow? To Theo, he was a very precious clunker. Why isn't there money falling from the sky, meow? Chairman Park said I'm lucky, meow. Money's gotta fall from somewhere, meow. Theo continued Sejun's treatment, placing his last hope on his own luck. Ding! When the bell in the kitchen rang. Oh, everyone, thank you for waiting. The bell has rung to signal that the dish is finally complete. The host grabbed the microphone again and resumed emceeing. Step, step. This time, Pugaro personally came out of the kitchen carrying the dish. And then, this dish is my ultimate dish that embodies what was in my imagination, made with the finest poisons and ingredients I know. I named it Heaven View, meaning to see heaven after eating it. He explained his dish in front of Kyungi. However, if one listened carefully to Pugaro's explanation, every detail was terrifying. He said it was an imaginary dish he had never made before, with all kinds of poison. Moreover, Heaven View meant nothing less than dying and going there. Gulp. Of course, Kyungi downed the soup in one shot without a second thought. How does it taste? Please don't die. Say something before you die. Pugaro asked with a desperate expression, staring intently at Kyungi. But, Kyung, I'm hungry. Kyungi said something completely different. I'm so hungry. It was an emergency. After eating something so tasteless instead of feeling full, hunger surged violently. Rustle, rustle. Kyungi quickly stuck his front paw into his snack pouch and scarfed down the snacks Sejun had made, filling his belly. While Kyungi was busy filling up. He said he's hungry after eating my ultimate dish. Does that mean he wants more? That must mean my dish was so delicious he wants more. Pugaro interpreted Kyungi's words in the way most favorable to himself. And then, haha, if my dish was that delicious, then I'll personally become Kyungi's exclusive chef. Pugaro proposed becoming Kyungi's exclusive chef. Kyung. No thanks. Naturally, Kyungi refused, since the prize money was automatically deposited via the card used for the entry fee. Kyung. Blackie, let's go. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, let's go. Kyungi and Blackie quickly left the dinner show venue. Please hire me as your chef. I want to keep getting feedback on my cooking. Leaving behind Pugaro, who was desperately calling out to him. Just like that, instead of a view of heaven, Kyungi gained 7,000 trillion tower coins. Meow. Money really fell from the sky, meow. Feeling Sejun's account suddenly swelling with funds. F whoosh. Money burn meow. Squish, squish, squish. Theo joyfully burned through the money while massaging Sejun's face. Pew Hugh Hud. Theo regained his smile again. As expected, if you trust in the words of great hybrid Chairman Park, even an empty bank account gets filled again, meow. Today, his faith in Sejun grew even stronger. There was no end to the devotion of a fanatic. A little while later. Pew Hugh Hut all done, meow. When Theo's treatment was finished. Flying ahi. Crag. Sejun's body, which had been about to fly up to the sky, twisted and began to transform completely. Chapter 679, Got Fooled. Great Blackie got played by the butler. Grandra. Crag. In the process of being reborn, Sejun's bones twisted grotesquely and reassembled. Kyungi helped with Dad's treatment fee, so he got even better. Now Dad can withstand Kyungi's one finger. Kyungi looked at Sejun with a proud expression. Of course, the finger Kyungi referred to was the weakest pinky, Kihahit, Kaying. Hee, the way Butler is writhing is just like Mukpupil. Mukpupil, remember this and let's show the Butler later. Peepoo. Okay. Next to Kyungi, Blackie was excited at the thought of teasing Sejun. Peepung peepoo. Like this. Mukpupil was eagerly mimicking Sejun's movements, writhing around. Blackie and Mukpupil, you mustn't do that, meow. Great hybrid Chairman Park is narrow-minded, so if you tease him, he'll definitely sulk and not give you any roasted and dried sweet potatoes, meow. Theo advised Blackie and Mukpupil. Pew Hugh Hut, our Chairman Park is a petty man who sulks when teased, meow. No, it was a boast. For Theo, everything about Sejun was something to boast about. As the group watched over Sejun, the transformation process continued for several hours. Waste started to be expelled from Sejun's body, and a poop smell began to waft around. At the same time, the group hurriedly put on gas masks. Pew Hugh Hut, looks like the poop smell from Chairman Park's body is almost gone now, meow. Kaiwo, that's a relief. Kyung. That's a relief, but Dad's poop smell is really strong. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Kabolto is the fart captain, and the butler is the poop fart captain. They chatted while looking at Sejun. A moment later. Sejun, regaining his senses after the transformation. Why are you guys? He looked puzzled at the group wearing gas masks as they stared at him. What's this smell? He quickly covered his nose and mouth with his hands as the stench pierced his nostrils, not knowing it was his own smell. Yuek. Thanks to that, Sejun only felt nauseated from smelling his own stench. Maintain cleanliness. Realizing belatedly that the smell came from his own body, Sejun quickly used the skill to wash off the poop smell. Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, do it to us too, meow. The smell from you got into our fur, meow. Okay. Only after Sejun used his skill hundreds of times on himself and his group members. Sniff. I think the smell gone now. Guys, can you smell me and check? Sejun asked the others to confirm, since he had already adapted to the smell. Hezeli. Sejun extended his right hand and sneered maliciously. I can't be the only one to suffer this. The hand Sejun extended was the one he hadn't used the skill on. Sejun showed an unnecessary passion to make the others smell him, by deliberately not washing his right hand. However, Pew Hut, Chairman Park, we don't fall for such cheap tricks, meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. I've been watching since earlier, wondering why Sejun Nim hasn't washed that hand. Kueha Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi won't fall for Dad's prank. The party members had caught on to Sejun's trick and didn't take off their gas masks. To maintain cleanliness, Sejun washed his right hand with his skill, disappointed. Then suddenly, why is Blackie so quiet? He should have made a fuss, saying he'd been tricked, right? Or at least act all smug for not getting tricked. With a question in mind, Sejun looked at Blackie. Kaying. Got fooled. Great Blackie got played by the butler. Blackie appeared in shock, holding his nose. It seemed he had removed his gas mask before Sejun washed his hand. Hehe, it really makes the prank worthwhile to have our gullible Blackie around. After washing his hands completely, Sejun hugged the dear Blackie who fell for his prank and put him into his sling bag. But guys, what happened? How did I end up unconscious and even smelling like poop? And weirdly, my body feels light too. He asked about the situation. Pew Hut, I Vice Chairman Theo. Theo explained the situation to Sejun. Really? I transformed again. Is this the third time now? Or the fourth if I count when my bones were changed to dragon bones? As Sejun was counting the number of times he had undergone transformation. This wasn't the time to be counting such things. No wonder my body feels so light. Guys, thank you. He sincerely expressed his gratitude to the group. Theo, who always devoted himself to Sejun. Yona, who suffered while following Theo. Kyungi, the son who only thought of his dad. Blackie family, who quit being apostles of destruction and came along, despite being so easily fooled. They all had gone through so much for his sake. It was treatment far beyond what he deserved. What am I even? Unknowingly, Sejun let his heart speak aloud. Pew Hut, if someone asks who the great hybrid Chairman Park is, it is only natural that we answer in his stead, meow. Everyone, tell us who Chairman Park is, meow. Kaiwat. He's the chairman of Sejun Company. Kueha Kyung. Hehe, he's Kyungi's dad. Kilahit Kaying. Hit, he's the great Blackie's butler. The group members responded to Sejun's words. They answered who Sejun was. Honestly, they weren't exactly profound answers, but to Sejun, they were more touching than any other. Pew Hut. On top of that, Chairman Park is the man who gulped down 1,000 trillion tower coins, meow. Until Theo said that. Huh. I gulped down 1,000 trillion tower coins. What does that mean? Pew Hut. I Vice Chairman Theo burned all of Chairman Park's wealth to heal his body, meow. You burned all of that on my body. Thud. At Theo's answer, Sejun slumped down helplessly. Pew Hut. Lick. Theo climbed onto Sejun's lap and began grooming himself and Yona, who clung to his tail. Kyungi also clung to Sejun's side and closed his eyes. Kivihit. Guys, this is our chance. Blackie, along with his subordinates, launched a covert operation aiming for the roasted and dried sweet potatoes in Sejun's pocket. And then, blank stare. With that kind of money, I could have bought Earth and had change left over. Sejun was so shocked from losing 1,000 trillion tower coins that he couldn't come to his senses for a while. A bit later, I spent that much money, so something must have changed, right? With anticipation, Sejun checked his status window. His body felt lighter and stronger, so he was sure his stats had increased. But, what? Why haven't they gone up even a bit? There was no change in his stats. The improved efficiency of his body due to the transformation had caused Sejun to misunderstand. Still, there was one thing that had changed: talent, hardworking talent. A remarkable talent that allows one to surpass limits to some extent through effort. All base potential for stats increases to 1,000. Receive 10 bonus stats every time you level up. When effort towards something exceeds a certain level, stat increase skill acquisition and talent awakening may occur. The once beyond mediocre had evolved into a hardworking talent, a meager result compared to the enormous amount of money spent. Theo had used healing magic to treat and strengthen Sejun's bones, muscles, heart, and more, but the body's design remained the same. Changing that design was impossible, no matter how much money one had, unless one was reborn. The law of unchanging blueprints applied here too. The next best option was to continue undergoing transformations periodically to expel waste whenever the body deteriorated. And I feel like Chairman Park's face is rotting meow. Sejun's body was already beginning to deteriorate again. Fortunately, the speed at which it was decaying was significantly slower than before. This was because the evolution of his talent had increased his base potential from 100 to 1,000. Where once he had endured immense stats with a potential of 100, now he was doing so with 1,000, reducing the burden by tenfold. It was similar to a rubber band becoming more elastic. Just a talent change and that's it. Sejun faced the disappointing result. I need to earn even harder. He realized anew that he was the biggest money-consuming hippo and decided to work even more diligently to earn money. Guys, let's head back to the Black Kyungi ship. For now, Sejun returned to the ship and stamped the pirate crew, who were under surveillance by the planet-destroying turtles, as full-time employees of Sejun Company. I'll give you your missions. He instructed the pirates to shift from piracy to a business of dimensional trade and providing security to worlds. And then, Iona, let's go home now. Kaiwat, yes. With Iona's dimensional transfer magic, they returned to the Black Tower. Grandra, Ritna Trading Company branch. Here is my resignation. When Het submitted his resignation. Het, you're leaving our trading company. You must be rich then, or maybe you don't need both your legs. Vank, Het's direct superior sitting at the desk, stared coldly at Het's legs and spoke. Step. Sensing a murderous aura, Het instinctively took a step back to protect his legs. And then, I trust in Buck number 23. Grabbing Buck number 23, who was hanging from his chest, Het gathered his courage. No, I don't have money and I still need both legs. What? Are you kidding me? You want to leave the company without giving anything in return? Yes, Buck number 23 Nim, please. Het respectfully raised Buck number 23 with both hands. Ziying. With its destruction beam, planet-destroying turtle Buck number 23 blew away the top of Vank's head along with the building above it in one clean shot. In the process, Vank's head also became perfectly smooth. Can I leave now? When Het asked. Th then yes. Het, from now on you are no longer part of the Ritna Trading Company. Vank hurriedly replied. However, Buck, you must become a subordinate of Kyungi Nim. Buck number 23 did not let Vank off. Yes. The answer was, of course, yes. In the face of a destruction beam, everything was a yes. And so, Vank also betrayed the Ritna Trading Company and joined Sejun Company. Naturally following the long-standing tradition of Sejun Company, Het, who joined first, became Vank's superior. Vank will now be the youngest member of the lottery department. Het was no longer the youngest in the lottery department. You have arrived on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Aileen, I'm home. As soon as Sejun arrived home, he informed Aileen of his return. The tower's administrator asks with a concerned voice if your body is okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, I feel even better. Sejun responded cheerfully on purpose to ease Aileen's concern. Then, Aileen, what do you want for dinner? He asked Aileen if there was any dish she wanted to eat. Sejun intended to repay everyone who had worried about him with his cooking. The tower's administrator says she wants the 100-layer the 10-layer pancakes that you make. Aileen, concerned that Sejun had only just recovered, significantly lowered the layer level request from 100 to 10. Hehe, got it. 100-layer pancakes order confirmed. Sejun was touched by Aileen's kind heart and accepted the order then. Dragons, I'm back. Is there any snack you'd like? He also visited the 9 dragons and asked for their order. Then, what do you guys want to eat? After taking orders from the group members, he had Sejun number 12 assist him and began cooking personally. Today was a day that called for it. A while later, Aileen here. Here are your snacks. As Sejun finished cooking and served the food to the dragons, your effort in cooking has reached a certain level. Due to the talent, hardworking talent, your area of effort has grown. Skill Cooking Master has evolved into Delicious Cooking Master. You can now bring out flavors that surpass the limits of ingredients through cooking. A change occurred in Sejun's cooking skill, which had long remained the same. And then, congratulations, Guardian of Fine Cuisine Park Sejun Nim. Star Delicious sparkled hard in the night sky, congratulating Sejun on his growth. Hezeli. Just to let you know, I wasn't just slacking off all this time. Thanks to this, Sejun's smug face gleamed even brighter under the starlight of Delicious. Chairman Park's face is rotting meow. Press. Theo, who would not normally have discovered such a minor sign, spotted the subtle decay on Sejun's face and healed it. Chapter 680 Hehe, Reborn Park Sejun, Magnificent. Midnight on the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Pip, good night everyone. Peacebees, who had woken up later than usual after running around during the day to collect money in order to save Sejun, started to move. I'm hungry. Flab. First heading to the kitchen to fill his belly. Peacebees, thank you for earlier today. As expected, our Peacebees is the best, Peepaha. He became happy as he looked at the note and fruit lunchbox Sejun had left behind. And I will quickly find the treasure and fill Sejunim's void storage. That way, Sejunim will become happier and healthier. Determined to find the treasure hidden by the gods of Tartarus, he ignited his passion. Nom. It's delicious. He aggressively sucked up the fruit juice. A moment later, after finishing his meal, swoosh. Peacebees enthusiastically opened dimensional gates and went in search of the remaining 3 worlds out of the 5 that Toryong had learned about, K-Pies, Nyamyak, and Suoin. While wandering through dozens of different worlds, swoosh, Peacebees created a dimensional gate into a new world, looked around, and discovered a resident. He looks like both Big Brother and Sejunim. What Peacebees had found was a cat person, a feline humanoid. Pip, what is the name of this world? Feeling a sense of familiarity, Peacebees approached and asked. This world, you ask? Mewhoo, what an interesting question. This place is called Nyamyak, and I am Hiern. From the cat person with an accent similar to Theo's grainier dialect, he got the answer he wanted. Pip, I finally found it. Peacebees was thrilled to have found the world where the treasure was hidden. Where did this little guy come from? He looks fascinating and adorable. Hiern looked at Peacebees with a gaze filled with curiosity and greed. Of course, there was no good intent. However, if I create a dimensional gate right in front of the place where the treasure is, Sejunim will be even more pleased, right? Focused solely on wanting to bring greater joy to Sejun, Peacebees didn't notice Hiern's gaze. And then, Hiern, do you happen to know of Orion Castle? He asked Hiern if she knew the location where the treasure was hidden. Orion Castle, of course I know it. I'll guide you there. Pip, really, thank you. And so, the path to Orion Castle with Hiern began. Pip, but I don't see any other residents here. Where did they all go? While moving around, Peacebees started to wonder as he hadn't seen any other residents of Nyamyak. Of course, this is my land, and everything on my land belongs to me. Hiern answered Peacebees' curiosity, wearing a sinister smile. Pip. Sensing that something was wrong, Peacebees quickly tried to ascend high into the sky. Mihaha, it's already too late. Shackles of ceiling restrain him. F-whoosh. Suddenly, a massive violet magic circle appeared on the ground. Clatter. Massive chains with shackles at the ends surrounded Peacebees. Clink. Before he realized it, a shackle was attached to Peacebees' leg. It was a shackle Peacebees could easily shake off with his strength, but... The moment the shackle was fastened, Peacebees' thoughts returned to the time when he was locked alone in the void storage by Scaram. At the same time, fear overwhelmed Peacebees and he became powerless. It was traumatic. He had thought he had overcome it, but being with Sejun had merely helped suppress it well. Pip Sejunum, I can't breathe, I'm scared. Peacebees fell into panic and lost consciousness. Clatter. The chains dragged Peacebees into the magic circle, and as Peacebees was pulled into the ground, the magic circle vanished. Mihaha, my collection has grown. The corrupted hero of Nyamiok, the Witch of the Abyss, Hyern, headed to her castle with her new trophy. To her original destination, Arion Castle. Forest of Creation. Candidate for the Tree of Creation, you have succeeded in transforming all 5 great barren lands into life-filled grounds. You have passed the 4th trial. Well done. Receive your reward. With the trial statue acknowledging the completion of the 4th trial, Flamey received her reward, and her power increased dramatically. However, so now there's only the final trial left. Despite becoming stronger than usual, Flamey didn't look sad. Now, even if she passed the trial or became stronger, she had a way to stay with Sejun, so she was fine. By holding her breath under the law of the Tree of Creation, weakens when holding breath, and using power, frail pretty girl, she could stay by Sejun's side for about an hour. Unfortunately, she couldn't use the above law and power as an avatar. Since Sejunum has gotten a bit stronger, I think I could extend it to about 3 minutes more. I'm excited. Flamey was thus delighted that Sejun had grown stronger through transformation of the body. Then, when is the final trial? She asked the trial statue about the schedule for the 5th trial. The trial has already begun. What? You haven't even told me what the trial is about. The 5th trial to become the Tree of Creation candidate starts with finding the problem. She realized she had to find the problem herself first. And then, avatars quickly spread out and start searching. Yes. Yes. To find the question for the final trial, Flamey began dispatching avatars across thousands of worlds. All right. Feeling refreshed from yesterday's complete transformation, Sejun got up energetically. Reborn Park Sejun, magnificent. My face is more handsome, and my body's better too. Sejun spent a moment basking in self-admiration. I should be fine, right? Unconsciously, he glanced over at Theo. Gorarung. Kurarung. Fortunately, Theo was sound asleep with Yona. Then, why the heck am I checking Theo's reaction? Feeling annoyed for no reason. Squishy. He grabbed Theo's cheek and stretched it out. Do you know your sins? Just as Sejun's bad mood was nearly gone, while playing with Theo's chewy rice cake-like cheeks. Miu chairman, I'm sorry, meow. Theo apologized in his sleep. Seeing Theo like that completely lifted Sejun's spirits. He took the Theo couple and the Blackie family and stepped outside. Clack. He opened the void storage. And as usual, he hunted while checking over the Calamity farm. Vice Chairman Theo Claus. Using Theo's claws. Understood, meow. Shinka shinka. His claws came out a bit slowly because he was sleepy. Sejun grabbed Theo's claws, aimed at the target, and firmly pressed Theo's toe. Shoom. Theo's magic blade flew in a straight line. It was Theo's skill 1 meow slash. Shoom shoom. In this way, Sejun eliminated locusts with Theo's 1 meow slash while he was asleep. Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo has defeated the first calamity of destruction, White Locust. You have gained 50 million experience points, which is 50% of the experience obtained by Black Tower's lucky legendary merchant Park Theo. You have gained an additional 100 million experience points from the effective title, owner of the Calamity Farm. He gained experience together with Theo. Although the experience was halved compared to solo kills, it was faster and easier. He conveniently collected the Calamity corpses with power, insignificant and cowardly plunder, which allowed him to take one item within 100 meters without being noticed. While inspecting the farms one by one like that, congratulations. You have leveled up. You have acquired 10 bonus stats. Your strength has increased by 30. Your strength potential has increased by 1%. Sejun leveled up at the slime farm and reached level 190. A job quest has occurred. Job quest, you must master the harvesting skill. Reward, unlock level 191, 600 billion tower coins, all stats plus 1300. He received a job quest. Luckily, the content of the job quest was something Sejun had already achieved. You have already mastered harvesting, master. You have completed the quest. As a reward for completing the quest, level 191 has been unlocked. As a reward for completing the quest, 600 billion tower coins. As a reward for completing the quest, all stats increased by 1300. Sejun instantly completed the job quest and received the rewards. This is the honey-sucking life of Genius Park Sejun. With a satisfied smile, Sejun wrapped up his remaining tasks. Above all, what made him feel the most accomplished was receiving 10 bonus stats from leveling up. A little later, after finishing the work at the Calamity Farm, Sejun left the Void Storage and Summon Door. He headed to the 10th tower, where he began working again by planting seeds and harvesting crops. Maybe it was the lightness of his body or his good mood, but the work went smoothly. While Sejun was deeply immersed in farming. Kyung. Sejunim, are you there? He heard Pinkfur calling for him from outside the gate. Oh, I'm here, I'll be right out. Sejun responded and quickly returned to the Black Tower. Pinkfur's arrival meant she was here to leave Kyungi with him, while going off for training and to pick up choco pie. In other words, he had to hurry and make choco pie. So Sejun exited the gate connected to the 10th tower. Kurorong. Our little Kyungi's still dreaming. Kyuiha. He received Kyungi, mounted him at his side, and went with Pinkfur to the kitchen. Then, cooking. He replicated the choco pie made by Sejun number 12 and filled Pinkfur's snack pouch with them. Here you go. When Sejun handed the snack pouch full of choco pie to Pinkfur. Kyung. Thank you, but where is Peacebees? Pinkfur expressed gratitude and asked about Peacebees' whereabouts. Peacebees, of course, on my left shoulder, he's not there. As Sejun reached for his left shoulder and didn't feel Peacebees, he hurriedly checked all over his body to find the hidden Peacebees. As Sejun frantically searched his body. Chairman Park, what's going on, meow? Kai what? Kyung. Dad, what's wrong? Kaying. Because of Butler, Great Blackie woke up. Since it's your fault, give me roasted and dried sweet potato. The others couldn't help but wake up too. Guys, do you see Peacebees? Sejun urgently asked his group. Meow, Chairman Park, Peacebees is gone, meow. Kayang, I don't see him. Kyung. Peacebees isn't here. Kaying. Big brother Peacebees, where did you go? Feeling something was wrong, the group searched for Peacebees, but he was nowhere to be seen. Where did Peacebees go? As Sejun thought for a moment. No way. He quickly crossed the dimensional gate Peacebees had created with the group and arrived not at Camule Desiong, but in another world. You have entered the level 9 world Nyamiok. System 371 sent Sejun a message to inform him which world he had entered, trying to gain his favor. Level 9 world Nyamiok. If it's Nyamiok. That's the world where the treasure is hidden. Is he looking for the treasure? Normally, Peacebees always returned before morning, so Sejun was a bit worried. But since Peacebees was quite strong, he didn't worry too much. In the 99th floor of the Black Tower, worrying about others is the most pointless thing of all. Forcibly suppressing the worry rising in his heart, Sejun asked, Iona, can you locate Peacebees? Because Iona had cast location tracking magic on everyone to easily find Theo, she should be able to locate Peacebees. Kaiwat, just a moment, power of magic follow the mark. Iona used magic. Kaiwat, Sejunum that way. She pointed toward the north, filled with dark clouds as if rain was about to fall. I've got a bad feeling about this. An unexplained sense of unease crept into Sejun. Kyuha Kyung. Helihe, Dad, ride on Kyungi's back. Meanwhile, Kyungi grew in size and carried the group. Kyungi full speed. Kyung. Got it. Boom. To alleviate Sejun's anxiety, Kyungi flew north faster than the speed of sound.